Hey everyone, I'm Madeline Sklar, and welcome to the Kratom Gals. This is our weekly space where Kratom consumers come together to stay informed, share experiences, and have honest conversations about the issues affecting this community. At the heart of everything we do here is education, advocacy, and protecting access to natural Kratom through open discussions and informed conversation. And it's not a debate stage. Now, today, we are going to be reacting to the latest Kratom news stories that are making headlines around the country. There's so many of them. We're also going to look at some of the latest videos making the rounds and a whole lot more. A quick but important note before we dive in, this live stream, what we do here is for educational purposes only. We're not medical professionals. Nothing here that's shared should be taken as medical advice. We're just sharing personal experiences, encourage informed discussion, and advocating for responsible legal access to Kratom. And just a real quick note before we dive in, thank you to our incredible supporters. I'm just so blown away every week. People just keep showing up, hanging out, whether they're in the live chat like right now or they're watching the replay at their convenience. I just want you to know we all appreciate you, and we've really built an amazing community here where we just get together and chat. So let's bring up the gals so we can get this started. Hello, gals. Good to see everybody.
Hey, good to see you.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Good
Always
to see
excited to be here on Saturday.
you. I know. I love Saturdays. Although I love all the days we do all of our advocacy stuff. We do so much.
True.
My gosh. Venus, since you're always keeping us informed in our school community, tell everybody like all our different things we do, like almost every day now.
Well, on Thursdays, we have Kratom Advocacy Thursday, and that's where we have our support group, Come As You Are. Once we know who you are, you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to. I lay down, just be comfortable. And then that starts at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Christopher Dini from Christopher's Organic Botanicals has Tea Talks with Christopher, and that's a Zoom meeting that you can log on to and also discuss whatever, ask any questions you want. And then on Friday, we have TikTok Friday, Kratom Real Talk, TikTok Friday. And it's at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same thing, come in, ask any questions. And I love it. We're not being censored there like we used to be. And there's so many people that come in. And then, of course, Saturday we have the Kratom Gals. And Sunday we're back again with the support group at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So whatever platform you're on, however you feel, wherever you feel comfortable, we try to have a space for you to talk.
Yeah. And Mike's asking about Zoom. No, she was talking about Christopher Dini's Tea Talks. That's on Zoom each week. We're just talking about the weekly schedule of all the different things that go on in the Kratom advocacy community. And we got everything linked in our Kratom Real Talk school community. I got the link down there in the ticker. So there's a calendar in there, and all the things that Venus mentioned is all in there. So be sure, if you have not joined us there, be sure to do so. We have a very vibrant community there. People new to Kratom, learning all about it, and people like many of us have been using Kratom for many years. So,
and it's really a safe space that you can go and ask any question that you need to ask. And if we can't answer it, we'll let you know and let you know where you can find the answers to your question if we know.
It's just a nice, breath of fresh air, where people just come together to chat. No issues, no spamming, no egos, all that's left at the door.
No hidden agenda.
Right. So yeah, it's a great place to come hang out. So be sure to join us there if you've not done already. Just go to school.com/Kratom Real Talk. We'd love to see you in there.
Yeah.
Always a great place. Well, as usual, there is not a shortage of news stories. It never ends. So
it's been a busy week.
I got plenty for us to watch. And later, we're going to watch that new Hamilton Morris little mini documentary that came out on YouTube.
Nice.
It is so interesting behind the scenes of how 7-OH is made. We keep hearing all these things about, it's made in somebody's bathtub. It's just, a drug dealer playing chemist and stuff. And I'm sure there are, just like there's been natural kratom companies that do that. You know, there's always bad actors in every single industry.
Yeah,
I thought what he shared was very eye-opening, that
it really was.
got to see like some really interesting footage, and it was fascinating just on the chemistry side.
It's really neat to watch it. Like I showed my son, and him being a biochemist, he was like, "This is really cool." And I'm like, "Oh, tell me all the info." I'm like, "Gotta dumb it down so I understand it." And it is. It's really cool to actually just see the whole process go.
And this video like just came out and it already has 437,000 views.
Wow.
You know, he speaks volumes for our community, you know, with plant medicine and kratom. And I mean, so many different types of, you know, botanicals. He's a phenomenal individual. I absolutely respect his work.
Yeah, if anybody's not familiar with him, go on YouTube and type in Hamilton Morris Kratom. He has he had a show on Vice News. What was it? Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia.
Yeah.
And you can find some of them on YouTube. And he has a kratom one from like 7 or 8 years ago. It's fascinating. I went back to watch it because I haven't seen it in years. It's so interesting, him going to Southeast Asia, speaking with the locals, learning about all of this. And it's just really, really great information.
I remember watching that very early on in my kratom journey.
Yeah. Mike says North Dakota got ban press conference thing going on Monday, special ban session.
It's not necessarily a ban session, but the governor did call Congress back into session to discuss kratom and its derivatives.
And FYI, if you're in Texas, as of today, it is a crime to possess and use Delta 8 and Delta 10 and one of the THCs. I forgot which one.
THCA.
THCA.
Yeah, it's one of those. And it's like, oh my gosh. So, because the lieutenant governor in our state has been hell-bent on banning all hemp, even though we don't have legal cannabis here. It's like, make it make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
No, it makes no sense at all.
No, I've never understood that. Even when my dad was sick, he was in Texas because that's where his healthcare was. And I mean, you couldn't even get medical, you couldn't even get medical marijuana. And it's like these people in Texas are, they're struggling. It's some of the laws that are a little crazy, especially when it comes to medical marijuana or just regular marijuana in general. It's just they're so anti everything.
Yeah, Mike, I don't know which is in a video you just sent me, because I know you do that in Facebook and I haven't been in there in a while, so I don't know which video you're talking about. But yeah, in Texas, crazy. When I first started kratom in 2019, I heard about Delta 8 and I thought, oh, well, since cannabis is not legal here, this sounds like, light pot, right? So I looked into it and I bought some. It was okay. I don't really care for those types of products, but I'm like, well, I need to find things that help me in this new journey of losing pain management. And I was brand new with kratom. So I remember trying Delta 8. And it's just sad that, like, if you're possessing that in Texas, I saw a news story out of Austin where they have confirmed with the police there that if you are caught with it, you will go to jail. Delta 8 and Delta 8 and Delta 10. Although I heard Delta 9, which is not going to be illegal, is stronger than Delta 8 and Delta 10. So like, what? Some crazy stuff. That's why
it's probably just haven't caught up to it yet.
Yeah, right. That's why it's important to stay on. Like, if there are things you consume, botanical products you consume, stay on top of what your state is doing. Because just like how kratom gets banned in places, there are going to be people all over Texas who have no idea they could go to jail for this now. Like when I was seeing these videos pop up this week, I'm like forwarding to like different friends, like, if you use any of these, you better not have them on you. So scary.
It's like we're going backwards instead of forwards these days.
Yeah.
they're going after people that are being responsible and at the behest of people who have been irresponsible.
Yes, absolutely. And
We
that's
are
why,
paying for the mistakes of many, of
yeah,
few.
yeah. And that's why I think Hamilton Morris's new video is so good, because it's showing how things are being done properly. You know?
Yeah.
I just find it fascinating. Yep. I mean, I just thought it was very, very interesting stuff. Well, let's get into the news stories, because there's so many of them. And I want to make sure we have time to watch all the things that I have on my list has 11 things. I don't know if we're going to get to 11, but I'm going to try. Y'all know me. I'm always very ambitious with this. You probably heard the story out of Florida with a toddler. I'm going to play this news story because this was the top news story.
So we're starting off the day with throw warnings.
Yeah, be ready to throw something soft.
Right.
Well, actually, in looking at my analytics for our YouTube channel, most people are watching our live stream on their phone, which is no surprise. Most people use social media on their phones. We get some people watch on their TV. So if we're on your big screen TV right now, live or replay, hi. I've done it on my big screen before, and it's
That's
like,
how I used to watch
we're so big. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. It's like, and it makes me more aware, like before we go on, like, let me check my hair, let me make sure nothing's in my teeth, like, because like on big screen, holy cow.
Right.
Huge. So,
right.
Yeah. Hold on, let me catch up. I see they've got a lot more comments popping in. Mike says, I smoke hemp flower THCA is like diet weed. I'm happy my governor protected state hemp. Delta 8 will be sold in MJ dips, lab tested, age restricted, and taxed. I'm reading.
He means marijuana
into the dispensaries. Yeah, into the dispensaries. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Let's get into this video, because this one is quite interesting.
Developing it for a 2-year-old is dead after ingesting a substance available at almost any gas station known as Kratom. Channel 9's Melanie Hull reports the people that were supposed to be watching that child now face charges.
Investigators say the death of 2-year-old Johnny Jordan was preventable. Had the toddler, who found and ate as many as 2.5 Kratom pills at a residence in Palm Bay, received immediate medical attention. Instead, West Melbourne police say the child's father dropped her off at his sister's home in their jurisdiction and put her to bed. She never woke up.
She became unresponsive. She started having breathing difficulty. Her lips turned blue. Both adults recognized this and knew this and chose not to call for any type of medical intervention.
Now the child's father, 35-year-old Jerome Jordan, and the mother of 2 of his other children, Charlene O'Connell, are charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child and child neglect with great bodily harm.
First of all, tell me how many children you have.
I have 5 children.
An autopsy on Johnny Jordan determined her cause of death to be acute mitragynine intoxication. It's a substance found in Kratom. We sought out an expert about the product, which is sold in many legal forms.
With the concern being high ingestion can lead to respiratory depression, up to including cardiac arrest, similar to an opiate overdose.
So I'll never get a bond.
Both Jordan and O'Connell were denied bond. Reporting from Brevard County, Melanie Holt, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
More details on what kratom actually is. It's actually a tropical tree in Asia. Its leaves, when ingested, can provide a stimulant effect. It is legal to purchase off the shelf in Florida for anyone 21 and older. The FDA warns consumers they have not tested or evaluated the drug.
Ooh. Well,
we know that. Okay, first off, shame on those parents. I'm sorry for their loss, but shame on you for allowing a child to have access to anything. I don't care if it was melatonin. You don't leave things where a child can get them. Absolutely. And a child can reach a lot of areas. Second, 2 pills, 2.5 pills. What was that? What was that substance really that the child that they had in their home?
And I'd like to know if there was anything else in the baby's system too.
Exactly.
Right.
Kratom is just being the one, whether it's Kratom or 7-0 or whatever one is being blamed, because we know they do this already. Somebody could have poly in their body. I mean, somebody could have had a street drug and because Kratom was a part of it, and it's the big news right now. You know, you can't trust nobody. It's sad that I have to keep saying that. You can't trust no one now. We just want the truth.
Well,
we want truth in news. We want truth from other people. We just want truth, and it's very hard to come by.
and the fact that if it was 7.0, where did they even get it? Because it's been banned in Florida for how long now? Year and a half?
Right,
Good.
right.
So come on, folks, let's start really looking at what the cause of that child's death was. It was
Yeah, I mean, it could have been, you know, could have been Tylenol. Could have been Tylenol, you know?
Parental negligence is what killed that child.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Right.
yes, for sure, for sure. Yeah. Well, has a toxicology report been released? Do we know?
I don't think it
I don't
has
know.
yet. I think there's been a partial release, but some of those toxicology reports take a long time to get.
And why are they saying Kratom? Is because one of the parents just said I had 2.5.
They could have honestly just like when someone passes, if it was in the home, you know, or something like that, they automatically, you know, they do an investigation. They treat it as a crime scene. When my mom passed, they treated it as a crime scene. And I mean, every little bit of medication, you know, even there was weed, and they took it all. They took it all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could have, you know, there could have been something, they could have even had it up in their cabinet, but because it was in the home, they're like, it's this, you know?
Right, right. But the guy was like, I don't get bond. Is like, your child is dead. You think you're going to bond out?
Yeah, there was no remorse in those parents at all. It was like, his
not at
only
all.
complaint was, I don't get bond. You shouldn't have a bond.
Which makes me think that it might be something else with it. I mean, if it was plain leaf powder, it would have just been all over. You would have known that that the baby.
And we all know there's no way any child eating that nasty disgustingness.
No,
right.
no.
And even the mint gummies, or you know,
they said 2.5 tablets,
those
right?
are bitter too. So then if it's tablets.
Even the tablets, they may say flavored, but they taste awful. They are not the best. You know, they don't taste good.
Well, there's not too many just whole leaf Kratom tablets, and the ones that are 2 tablets is not going to be very much. I use the tablets for when I'm out and about, just natural leaf tablets. If anybody wants information on where, you know, companies that I support, because they all advocate and educate. If they don't advocate and educate for the community, I'm not even looking at them. Anyway, I have those for when I'm out and about, and my usual 2 teaspoons of Kratom powder for my swamp water Kratom tea. If I'm doing the tablets, they're so small, I'm taking 12 of them to equal my 2 teaspoons. And the few companies that sell those, they're tiny. I have never seen them big. I know there's some like extract tablets, but I don't think those are very common, any kind of tablet form of just natural Kratom.
No, I don't think so either. And I've never seen big tablets either.
So it's probably 708.
There's such a high cost involved. The cost ratio keeps it from being worthwhile.
Or it could have been, you know, so they had this evidence similar to what Amanda was saying earlier. So it was present, but it wasn't necessarily the cause, but they put it in, just like the COVID, you know, games they played, all the people that were passed away and they were in car accidents, or the guy who was shot and they blamed it. They said it was a Kratom death, you know,
like what?
And, you know, so these things go on. It might not have been any of it. You know.
And that's why I think the toxicology report's important, you know, before pointing the finger and say, oh, it was Kratom, or oh, it was 7-OH. And people are speculating in the comments like Benadryl. And that was my first thought. And it's not uncommon to give your young child Benadryl because it can help them be drowsy and help them sleep. That's actually something, I don't know if they do that so much anymore, but back in the day, it was not uncommon for your pediatrician to tell you to do that, to use Benadryl for calming, especially like airline flights. I remember that was one of the reasons.
And even melatonin, I think they give kids now too. They have it in some of their medicines.
Yeah.
And Benadryl tastes good.
Right.
I mean, if you get those the tablets that are flavored, they taste good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's get to the next news story. There's one that's out from Utah, and Utah recently has some like really strict regulations now, right? Does anybody know like what the exact regulations are right now with that? I can't keep up. There's too much.
It's so convoluted. I'm not sure, but I know they're very
They're
strict.
strict. They're strict now. And mind you, this is the first state in the U.S. that passed a KCPA years ago, the very first one. And now, you know, it's very different there. All right, let's watch this one.
Good evening. New tonight, a kratom-laced product takes a person's life in Utah County, and now health officials are sounding the alarm.
Yeah, they're saying illicit kratom products are being mislabeled here and sold as cat's claw. News specialist Garna Mejia has been looking into this. And Garna, where are these illicit products actually being sold?
Yeah, you guys, that's the scary part. They're being sold all over the place. They look like candy from Vernal to Utah County. We found them at a smoke shop in Holiday for $12.99, but they can be deadly. Inside the lab at the Utah Department of Agriculture and Food, scientists confirming these bright packages,
they do genuinely look like candy,
instead contain a potentially deadly version of kratom.
Two of the flavors of the product that we found, called the buzzers.
Pure leaf kratom is allowed in the state, but this year, new legislation banned its synthetic derivatives like MGM-15. The ingredients list on this package makes no mention of kratom. Instead, they're advertised as cat's claw, a popular herbal supplement used for joint pain.
And you'll find them in a lot of different flavors and colors.
In this last week, health officials suspect one person in Utah County died after taking these buzzers.
More than likely, they did just purchase it at their local corner store or vape shop.
Health officials suspect manufacturers are mislabeling and sneaking the illicit kratom into products.
I think it's a way for these manufacturers to get around laws.
The Utah Poison Control Center says of 40 kratom-related calls this year, 10 were in the last 2 weeks.
We're starting to see a trend.
We found this wide array of buzzers at a smoke shop in Holiday, only $12.99.
Let consumers know to be careful. You know, a lot of people, when they see a product on a shelf, will assume that that product is safe.
Yeah, you think it's safe because it's on a shelf, but it's not. Officials are ordering sellers to pull those buzzers from the shelf and destroy them immediately. They tell me that they have an investigation underway with the State Bureau of Investigation into the suppliers and manufacturers. Back to you.
All right. Well, what are y'all's thoughts on that?
I'm wondering if they actually tested the buzzers to see what was actually in it.
It looks like they
instead of just saying
did.
kratom. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had the little test tube thingy. So
Oh, okay.
my impression.
If they are truly manufacturing something, putting cat's claw as the ingredient instead of saying kratom, then yeah, they need to be taken outside. But if it really is cat's claw, that's just another avenue for them to come out yet another botanical that is safe when used responsibly.
Now,
because how many did that person take? What else were they taking? Again, the polysubstance issue kicks up. So let's give complete stories, not just buzzwords.
And let's talk about cat's claw for a moment. Twinkle has talked about it repeatedly here. Twinkle,
For years.
The people who don't understand cat's claw, can you explain what it is and what it's used for and why this is a pretty big deal? Because it's, you know, if somebody's thinking, oh, I'm getting this botanical, that's not a big thing, but it could be laced with something. That's pretty scary.
It's a tea. Well, I use it as a tea. You could also get it in capsule form, and it's for joint pain, just like they said, and it's for arthritis. It's pain support, but mainly for joint pain, which is arthritis, and that's what I use it for. I've taken it for years, and you know, if you get it in its natural form where it's not in the capsules, it looks like a seaweed and you just boil it down as a tea. But it's not psychoactive in any way. It doesn't come with, you know, there's not anything like that. So you would know if you got a psychoactive feeling off of something that it's not real cat's claw. Because, you know, you might feel better. Your pain might go down a point, maybe 2 for some people, but you're not getting any, there's nothing. Like even kratom would be more, and I don't even consider it psychoactive in any way, but the boost of well-being is better for kratom, then even cat's claw don't produce any. Like, I think I had a cup of, I had an espresso today, whereas would be me relating, the coffee effect. For kratom, cat's claw doesn't do that, but it is for joint pain, arthritis.
Yeah. Is anybody else on our panel familiar with cat's claw?
Very much so, because devil's claw and cat's claw are very similar in makeup.
Mhm. Yep, have them both.
But those of us with immune issues generally cannot take devil's claw. So cat's claw was what was kind of offered in replacement of. And it works, but it's a cumulative effect.
Yeah.
It has to be something that you take consistently. And there is no effect. There's no psychoactive effect. There's no mental effect whatsoever that I have ever found.
It's kind of like how CBD, CBD is.
Right.
It takes a while
It's
to
just
build up.
plain.
Yeah.
Yep. But it does help with mild to moderate arthritis pain, lupus pain, fibro pain. It's not something that I would choose to take a lot of, simply because I have other things in my arsenal. But that is something I keep in my toolbox.
Yep. It's always in my
And
toolbox.
it is safe. Again, it's got thousands of years of history of safety. So let's stop with the nonsense, folks.
Yeah, that's a concerning story to be making the rounds in the news, and it's a state that has changed, like really strong regulation, but we're also hearing things like this happening in states that have banned kratom as well.
Seems like they're just kind of going down the line of each botanical, anything. Oh, this is great for your inflammation or, your pain. Oh, hold on, let's take it. Why? Because we'd much rather you taking ibuprofen or Tylenol or, whatever, over the counter and/or pharmaceuticals,
Right. Yeah. Right.
Well, and it always amuses me in a sad way that Utah has come out so hard against so many botanicals, because the home of doTERRA and Young Living, the oils, is Utah.
Yeah.
So how does this make sense, folks?
Well, the senator totally flipped. Senator McCall, who was for kratom when it was the KCPA, is now against. And it makes you wonder what's going on in politics for that. That sounds like my dog whining. Oh my gosh. We've been having little issues. I might have to take her out, so we'll see if she's whining. That's what that means. Let's watch our next video, because this next one's an interesting one out of South Carolina that I think y'all will find really interesting. So let's play this one.
Is it an herbal remedy or is it gas station heroin? Debate over what to do with kratom has hit the State House, but it's just as confusing for lawmakers as it is for consumers. Fox Carolina investigates what experts and advocates say the state is getting wrong and what it could mean for the people turning to kratom.
Depending on who you ask, kratom is hailed as a lifesaver.
I was diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia. It's called a suicide disease. And so I would wake up at night when I was diagnosed, lock myself in the bathroom, screaming into a pillow. I came across kratom, and it saved my life.
Or an over-the-counter killer.
We had a 2-year-old that had overdosed on kratom. The parents didn't understand the situation. They thought it was a natural mood enhancer.
But when people say kratom, what do they actually mean? Because it no longer means one thing.
I'm not sure whether they're talking about a botanical leaf product, a synthetic product, such as these new 7-OH or 7-hydroxy products, or now even something called pseudo-indoxyl, which is another synthetic product that is derived from kratom.
In talks about regulating kratom and the semi-synthetic byproduct 7-OH, even South Carolina lawmakers admitted they had some confusion.
I'm not familiar with kratom.
How does one tell synthetic from the leaf?
USC Upstate undergraduate researcher and kratom advocate Luca Marvel was one of the people to testify at the State House.
Kratom and 7-OH are not the same thing.
The natural form of kratom comes from the leaves of a Southeast Asian plant. 7-OH, or 7-hydroxymitragynine, is an opioid-like compound found in only trace amounts in leaf kratom. But now, lab-made tablets and gummies containing high levels of 7-OH are hitting stores across the country. Marvel, who is part of the South Carolina Kratom Coalition, said the people using kratom and 7-OH aren't who you might expect.
Very functional members of society that, feel like they rely on one or the other or both to treat very real, very serious medical ailments that they feel have been inadequately addressed by the medical establishment.
If this gets banned, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going to go, because it's either live in so much debilitating pain that I want to end my life or break the law.
What lawmakers decide about kratom and 7-OH could impact thousands of South Carolinians with similar stories. Dr. David Schaefer, the director of toxicology for Prisma Health Upstate, testified at the State House too. And while he agrees these substances are different,
There is no question, as you have heard today, that 7-OH is more potent.
he disagrees the leaf form is safer.
Cocaine and opium both are derived from the ground, and we know that those are not generally safe.
South Carolina passed the Kratom Consumer Protection Act in 2025, making it illegal for buyers under 21. But a critical provision stripped out before it passed is at the heart of the current chaos. Lawmakers deleted the 2% cap on 7-OH concentration.
Is it accurate to say that you would not be opposed to stricter regulation on 7-OH?
So I personally think that the way that 7-hydroxymitragynine or 7-OH is being sold is probably pretty irresponsible.
So before lawmakers take up the issue again, here's the main thing he wants them to consider.
Kratom and 7-hydroxymitragynine are different and need to be regulated differently.
I would agree that mitragynine, the main psychoactive substance in the kratom leaf, is not the same as 7-OH. That said, I believe they both have risks, and I'm not sure what the correct answer is at this point on how to regulate those products.
And while thousands of South Carolinians hang in the balance, lawmakers don't have an answer yet either.
The legislature reconvenes for its next regular session in January. Lawmakers will have to decide ban it all, regulate the difference, or leave the question unanswered again.
Okay. What are y'all's thoughts?
I mean, I agree that kratom is not 7-0. I agree with that part. I mean, it is, but it isn't, right? You wouldn't tell somebody who just needs a cup of tea to go take 7-0. I agree that they need to be, like, I would want to I would always clarify that for somebody. But, you have beer and then you have vodka. So, they're a different level of something, I guess. But, and I do believe that they should both have different regulations for them. I do think that if 7 is able to stay on the market, or if it stops and it's able to go back in, that it's in lower strict doses, and that people can't just, they get shut down if they're not following the rules and the regulation. Can that happen? I don't know. I think that there are good people out there, and I think that there are shady people out there just in any other type of business. It doesn't matter what business is. You're going to have good people and bad people. But I do definitely think that there's a lot more that we need to learn on it, and all the analogs or all the alkaloids that can come from kratom, because there's so much that can be made from it in the future. And, as far as these doctors go, I mean, I hope that they're able to, they do their background learning too and do learn more about it, so that one's not getting blamed for the other and vice versa.
I agree. Yeah, if they don't know that if somebody is taking one or the other, they need to ask. They need to ask what it is, look at the product, because we are different. We're saying that they're different. We're saying that they're two different things. It's the media. And I keep saying it's the same things. And then the doctors start saying the same thing.
I think before anyone should be allowed to discuss this plant, they need to understand it. To have a state official say, well, I really don't know that much, then don't speak on it. Go talk to people that do know this much. Go talk to Oliver Grundmann. Go talk to Jack Henningfield. Go talk even to Dr. McCurdy. Go talk to any of those people that do know this product and learn before you try to speak on it.
I need to go take my pup out real quick. Y'all just keep talking. Can y'all do that? Can y'all just like keep it coming?
Gotcha.
All right, I'll be back.
Because basically all you're doing is making yourselves look stupid.
Yeah, and that's again, that's where we go back to education. Like it is so like the education, it is so important, like
very much so.
If we had, I mean, even like just starting, with the gas stations, okay, take it out of the gas stations. Let's educate these smoke shops because they have to be 21 plus. Let's sit them down and they've got to have, okay, it's just like, you get a liquor license or something. You've got to, go do something in order to get a license. Make them sit through a class, learn the education on it to be able to do it. It's like people who work in a dispensary, there's certain guidelines that you have to follow. It's not that hard. I'm not getting why we're going to like such drastic measures of basically, let's ban this plant. Let's literally, it's going to kill people taking this away. Like we're going to it's going to take lives. We've already seen it happening. We've seen overdoses going up. If we had the proper education on it, if we put a cap, like, do I agree with the certain higher percentages? No. But do people like myself and Twinkle take a drastic amount different for their dose for 7? Absolutely. I think it should be capped off. To me personally, I would say 25 or a 50 at most. But then again, that's accountability. You're going to have to break that tablet down. But that's just like your prescription medication. If they can trust us to go pick it up from the pharmacy and follow the rules, why can't they trust us to take, a package that we're buying off the shelf or, from the smoke shop or wherever, proper places that we're buying?
Well, here's an example.
Why can't we be accountable for that? Why do they treat us like we're not?
Back when I was taking Suboxone from pain management, I was taking the strips. They literally had me cut those strips, those 8 milligram strips into 2 milligrams. And then at another time, it was like 4, because I think I was 4 3 times a day. So I took a very low amount, but it was for pain. But we were, we had to be responsible to cut our strip or cut our tablet too. Yep. So, I mean, we're capable of being responsible. Some people will and some won't. And that's just it. But we are supposed to be responsible and accountable for ourselves, whether or not it's a Tylenol or it's a pain medication or it's something over the counter.
Exactly. I mean, there's always going to be someone out there that ruins it for us. There's always going to be someone out there that takes it a little too far, takes more than what they should have. That goes with alcohol, cigarettes, sex, working out, water. Like, some people are just addicted to being stuck inside their house or even outside. So it's like, if we started banning everything that people are abusing, there'd be nothing left in this world. Absolutely nothing left in this world, So,
we vote for our legislators and we expect them to do what is right for their constituents. If we aren't educating them as to what is real, not real, right, wrong, from our viewpoint, then we can't expect them to go out and spend countless hours learning about something because there simply isn't enough time in a day.
If they spent as much time caring about a ban to educate themselves, we'd be in a better situation.
Now, other people's
we need to make it simple and easy for a legislator to have the knowledge they need in front of them when something like this comes to them. Quit making it because we know they're not going to go research it. We have to put it in their face. So
it's like the gas
that
station
comes
heroin,
back to advocacy.
stronger than morphine. It's those things that really grab at the people, and that's what they keep pushing. It's stronger than morphine, it's, gas
And then
station
all that
heroin.
means is it's just hugging the receptor a little more. It doesn't mean that it's really 13 or 22 or all actually stronger than morphine. The effect is it's stronger than morphine.
It takes away my pain better, but it does not, it does not affect me cognitively. It does not inebriate me. I'm very present, and coherent in all my faculties. So it's not like, I'm under the influence of anything that's mind altering.
And back to what we were saying earlier, other people's poor choices and lack of self-control ends up removing other people's freedoms. So you can't even be free anymore to make your own choices because you've lost your choices and your freedom because of somebody else's actions.
Yeah.
That's just not right. That's
it's just terrible, it's sad. It's sad. I really hope everybody, generally, I hope everybody out there's holding up okay. Reach out, because we're all going through this together, mentally. I think we're all just kind of like at our tipping point, I feel for the community right now. I know I'm personally struggling with this because of what other people, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll manage. I'm so worried about other people because I know someone has it worse than I do, so I'm just, if anybody ever needs to talk, reach out. I'm always here, because this isn't easy. We're all here, whether, this gets banned or not, we're all still here, to stick it out and, hang there with everybody. Because I know it's a big struggle right now. And so many people are, they're scared, it's like a lot of us, it's like, we're all like, great individuals that are out here minding our own business. And you want to turn people into felons overnight. And, really, again, remember we were talking about how much, an inmate, per year gets, to jail. And it's like, when it comes down to it, how much of this is all about money? We saw it in New Hampshire. It was all about money because they were all about asking questions. They were all about learning, if someone's taking this responsibly in a small micro dose, why can't we just, cap it off at something, and them saying we don't have the resources to house all of these people that you want to make criminals. And then it's the money. It's the money.
And Kratom, Mitt, and Seven pulled all that money from the Suboxone industry. They want people to go back. People were actually able to, maybe at different levels. Maybe some people, are against the Seven, but as a whole, all these products that was born off the Kratom industry or Kratom being born in the first place was helping all these people out of here, whatever form somebody needed. That's all kinds of money, taken away. Not just Suboxone, but people that are managing their lives that don't even have access to go to a doctor anyway.
Right.
We're seeing this right now. Yeah, like I'm seeing this here, here locally in my community. I go, everybody knows here, I go to a couple of kava bars here locally. And, there's this one that I go to, it's called The Spot, and it's, great place, lots of live music. It's a great sober bar. They've got mocktails, they got food, dancing, games. It's family friendly. And the sober community here is struggling because people in sober homes right now have been told they cannot come to this establishment because they serve kava. They don't even serve Kratom at this establishment. It's legal here, but they look at kava like it is a drug, a mind altering substance. And it's like, how do you expect individuals that are in recovery to start, peopling and doing normal life things if they are going into a sober bar that serves more than just kava? They can't even go into it, or they'll lose their, it's like this. And it's like, what is wrong? Like, are they specifically just out there keeping us, keeping people stuck on these pain medications, creating problems because financially, how many, I don't know what it's cost. I know what my surgery cost for the whole less than 24 hours I was there. I couldn't imagine what it's cost, big pharma losing, not having to take over 50,000, pharmaceuticals every day. And that's just a me story. Imagine, there's millions of us who take Kratom alone. I can imagine, what financially this is done to them. And they're like, no, like we don't want you kicking around doing the good things for you. We're going to take that away, which is, it's just sad. It's just sad to see it going on, you know?
And even the
It amazes me
specialists, I
that
don't
the
have.
alcohol industry, which is responsible for more deaths than any other substance,
Yep.
can continually bring to market higher and higher concentrations of alcohol.
Exactly.
And
Like
that's okay.
why is alcohol okay to sit here? And it's like one shot
Well,
of
and it's not just
alcohol and
alcohol.
you're woo.
Yeah,
And
it's
the
not just
packaging
alcohol.
of the alcohol.
Remember how hard it used to be to buy a small bottle of Everclear? Now they're selling gigantic gifts that are even stronger.
Wow.
How is that okay? What about personal responsibility there? Because look at DUIs, look at drunk driving accidents, look at the fatalities involved around alcohol, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But heaven forbid we take a plant to help us feel better.
Right. Or go, you know, or even go to like a sober bar, you know, that has kava, you know, it's like, it's so crazy how people are getting deemed like it's a bad environment or it's a bad, you know, substance to take if it's keeping them sober, keeping them off of illicit substances like street drugs, you know, keeping me off of pharmaceuticals. So I was out last night dancing, and my, you know, two of my good friends, they, you know, my festie bestie and my friend Izzy, they're both like, we couldn't imagine like you living with all these disabilities because, you know, we know you're going to suffer tomorrow, but the fact that you're just out here and you're dancing, and my friend goes, and you took 7 and you've been fine all night. He goes, and you've danced, you've enjoyed yourself. He goes, I can't believe they want to ban it. And this is someone who doesn't even take the product at all. And he's just like, I see you out here living your life, like getting a few hours in for your mental health, for your physical health. He goes, and they just want to take that away from you. He's like, I can't believe it. You know, it's just, it's baffling. It's baffling seeing, you know, what's going on. People who don't even take it, but, you know the pain that I live in on a daily basis, or here, you know, like he went and filled it, you know, they went and filled it out for me. It's like, thanks, you know, thanks for supporting me because you see me living my life.
Yeah.
You talked about the sober living facilities. Look at what they're doing to what they have done to our military. Military personnel are restricted from consuming kava or kratom.
Yeah.
They can live
what is
their
wrong
entire
with people?
world from it. And yet,
People that go drink alcohol, and here's a bunch of
alcohol's
meds for
led
your
to
head.
the destruction of more of our military members than anything else on the face of the planet. Then you add in all the pharmaceuticals that they're forcing these service members to take, and that's okay. But heaven forbid if they choose to want to take kava or kratom.
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
insanity.
Or even, you know, even for them to even have like, you know, medical marijuana, they can't, why are our servicemen and women suffering when they're out there saving our lives, you know, like,
right.
Yeah.
It's sad to see the state of the world with how against anything, you know, in a positive, you know, state of mind here. It's like, oh, botanicals, and it's saving people and it's doing
Anything
good for so
natural,
many.
very
Let's
good.
take it all away.
And I have to do everything I
natural.
can to stay in a positive mindset because, you know, I just cannot let myself, I'm sitting here, my legs hurt so bad. And, you know, obviously this is, well, I don't want to say it's going bye-bye, but it's going bye-bye. We, you know, it is what it is. But the thing is it's very difficult to stay even with physical pain and mental pain or mental distress at the same time, because the physical pain causes that. And for me, it causes it, you know, and that's where then depression hits, and then, you know, and then, and now we've got moved in, and I got through the move, and this is the biggest house I've ever lived in. So I'm trying to resonate in my mind how I'm going to, you know, physically get through this house all day. We're blessed with the house because it gives my husband and I, we're at this end of the house with a living room, and then it goes in to it'll get to the kitchen and another living room or family room, and then it wraps around, and the other bedrooms are over on the other side in the laundry. But this is going to increase my steps anyway. There's no way around it. So I have to, I have to figure out, like, how am I going to do this without adequate pain relief? And I'm not, I have the wheelchair, I have the walker. The walker is not going to help me. I'm still on my legs. The walker, I rather not use a cane and not use the walker and move as well as I can, everybody out of my way. Let me, go at my own pace, which I feel like is a pretty good pace. I've been able to reach a decent, I've just worked so hard, and it's just going to slowly come down. Hopefully I can maintain it, but I just don't know, so I'm trying to keep away from the fear, the worry, any added anxiety or depression, and just, stay in prayer. And I turn to Father God as many times a day as I need to, because the only thing I got. So
yeah, I mean, Madeline was talking about the, the numbers that are showing for signatures. Like, can I just stop and say, like, how damn proud I am of the community for stepping up? Like, like these are people that are speaking out, like they're seeing positive, like those are fantastic numbers. Like those are fantastic numbers. We saw that in 2017, and I am proud of the community.
Me too.
For coming together and for getting those messages in, because it's a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
We have more people that are really starting, and maybe, it's not all because of the show, maybe because people have tried it themselves. Maybe they know somebody who takes it, or maybe
there's a lot more people out there that can't even reveal yet. And they're, there's just so many, and they just can't.
Look at the people that we know, and we know they consume it, but they can't speak on it. Doctors, nurses, police officers, firefighters, military. And none of those people dare speak on it.
People in their own circles.
Yeah.
And even people in their own circles that can't, people out there that can't even.
Because of either the pushback from their families or from their work or from whatever the case may be.
People on social media that have to hate. I mean, it's just. Yeah,
gosh, I remember I used to like hide when I dosed, like I used to hide when I dosed, like even with my Kratom. Now I don't freaking care. I don't even freaking care if somebody's like, they look at it and I'm like, it's Kratom, and it's an educational tool, and it's literally, it saved my life. I guarantee I would not be here right now.
I go to the coffee bar when I go to church in person. I go out to the coffee bar because we have a coffee bar out there for whether it be members or whoever might want to come for a coffee or a donut or something. And I have my little container, and I'll go out there and make a tea at break time, or whatever. I haven't been in person since we've moved here. So that's been, one time in 7 months. I am living close again, so I will be getting back to in person. But I, will just say, I don't care who I'm taking it in front of. I'm not ashamed. Yeah. We have to stop being, we're sick people, or we're pained people, or we're a combination of being sick and in pain.
Well, it's like, we couldn't even ask for meds, it's like, being chronic pain patients, even saying the wrong word, you could be labeled a drug seeker, so it's like, we're already so used to being afraid to speak up because if I say something wrong, we're going to be labeled a drug seeker because I need something to help my pain. For so long, like I was very quiet about it. Like my family didn't know, a lot of my family didn't know about it at first either, because it was, right, this plant's going to do all this, but it's like now, my family talks about it with other people, and they're like, oh, well, my daughter or my niece or, my sister or my cousin, whatever, they, she takes Kratom, and my aunt, she just, she's like, hey, can I have someone message you and, talk to about it, because, they take a Meng Da. And I was like, well, okay, cool. Like, and, I gave the person a few websites, and they were like, then they'll still ship it to California. I heard there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. I was like, well, right now, California's still okay. We're hanging in there. Sent over the information, for all of the websites that we have here. And they were just very grateful. And they had no idea that they could even, go and speak up about the plant, So it's just, it's great to not be as scared, but it sucks for so many of us that still can't come forward and even speak up, whether they're taking 7 or if they're even taking Kratom, because a lot of people can't even talk about Kratom. And it's sad, but the fact that the community, I'm proud of the community. Everybody's been rallying together, like Seven Hope has done some like live Zooms, to help people walk them through, hey, if you need help, they had a little template that was, helped them, with their email to get sent in. And that was fantastic, because it's a daunting, task to do this. It's intimidating. I remember the first time even sending in an email is like, oh God, like, what do I write? Is this going to be bad? Or, going to speak in person. It's a little bit, it's a little nerve wracking, but
it's so
many
sad.
are starting to speak up.
Something that you said, Amanda, makes me so sad that so many people still don't know enough about Kratom. So many people still don't know how to reach out or who to reach out to. And yet we've been doing this for well over 10 years and people still don't know.
Yeah. And now
That's
people
very
are being
sad.
scared because of all the news. So people that could be getting benefit by having a cup of tea might not even ever approach it or get any because they're the fear mongering. And I'm actually talking about a cup of tea. I'm talking about just plain leaf Kratom or making your bottle however somebody wants to do it and keep it in the fridge or sitting down with a cup of tea. That's how I, 80% of the time, that's how I made mine. But they could have relief, but they don't even get the opportunity because of the fear mongering.
Yeah. We were talking about that comment that just popped up. Do you see that one,
Yeah,
Madeline,
let's talk
about that?
Yeah, let's talk about that because I did notice. So there was 29,000 comments. I believe it was yesterday or the day before when I checked over there, and then I checked right before we came on because I was just curious, especially because Hamilton Morris's video that just came out a few days ago
can't wait to watch it.
He's at 437,000 views as of today.
So fantastic.
And so I thought, let me go check the Federal Register because this is so reminiscent of 10 years ago when you got Joe Rogan and that whole conversation with Chris Bell. And then all of a sudden, you see all these numbers skyrocket with the comments. So yeah, I saw that crazy number. So
yeah.
I'm thinking it's a bot or some kind of glitch in the system. I'm sure they'll get it resolved.
Yeah, because that
was
a very large
if those numbers
jump.
were real. Yeah, it'd be wonderful if they were
it
real,
would
but
be.
I can't see that they would be. There's got to be a glitch of some kind.
Yeah.
And
there's
no
verdict yet.
Spamming.
Positive glitch would be wonderful.
Yeah, there's no verdict yet, Mike. So the deadline was yesterday for people to post on the Federal Register. So that's now ended. And my understanding is they're supposed to decide as early as August 5th, but don't know. I mean, look at what happened to natural Kratom 10 years ago. They changed their mind after saying 30 days it's going to be banned. So
yeah, well, let's at least, let's all at least keep our fingers crossed for, that they do get the extension that they filed for, that way they can keep giving them the education and, people can be heard because whether it be 30,000 or 620, regardless, that's a phenomenal number. And everybody just give yourselves a round of applause because thank yourself for going, it is a lot, we shouldn't have to fight this hard for what we all know is very helpful, this plant as a whole has been very helpful, whether you agree with extracts or not. They've saved people's lives. And that right there alone, I'm not taking that from anybody.
And for anybody that's new here to the Kratom Gals, so just so you know, Amanda and Twinkle both use natural Kratom in addition to very small, very therapeutic amounts of 7-OH. The rest of us are just natural Kratom consumers. But many of us agree that prohibition is not the answer. Regulation is the way to go. So while we're not endorsing 7-OH, and just like Amanda doesn't come on here and say, y'all go buy 7-OH and go use this. No, we're sharing our personal experiences. But for me, I come from chronic pain community, and I'm never going to dismiss anybody who's suffering in pain and found something that works. So I know some people in the Kratom community don't like that I'm speaking out, and it's too bad because nobody's going to change my view, just like I know y'all feel the same way with your own personal view. We're all entitled to have our own view in life, and I'm never going to dismiss somebody in pain. I don't care who in the Kratom community doesn't like it. It's not going to change my stance. So that's just, so I want people that are newer here that are coming in, like, this is not the 7OH gals, although somebody's very fixated on calling us that. We are the Kratom gals. We're all natural Kratom consumers, first and foremost, and then several people here are also utilizing 7OH for their chronic pain. So, we do have replays of all of our live streams, so you can. And actually, what I've been doing lately is making a kind of best of, because these live streams are usually 2 or 3. Last week was like 3.5 hours. It was long, so
it was a good one. Yeah,
it was good. I mean, and we appreciate all you that are here live with us. Y'all are here waiting. Many times you're like, I know Mike is sometimes in the comments going, "When are we starting? When y'all going? Come on, Madeline." Doing best I can. This is a live show, but a lot of y'all come here at the very beginning and you're here to the very end, and we appreciate all the support. And a lot of people watch the replay and do the same thing, but we also just have a more condensed version. I'm trying to make time to put out, I do this in my free time, but I'm trying to make time to put out one, because I know there are plenty of people that are not going to sit. I don't blame you. Like, it's a long time to sit. Although I know a lot of people multitasking, you're just listening, while you're doing stuff, and that's super cool. I do that too with long stuff I like to listen to, but I want to have a more abbreviated version that's a best of, because we have some incredible discussions here, and I'd hate for people to miss out on that. So thank you.
I love the recaps that you do, because I go back and watch it, because I'm like, okay, what did I miss? Because I always miss something. I feel like I always
me
miss
too.
something. I'm like, okay, let me
yeah.
just pay attention, because sometimes I miss certain things that I'm watching, or my kid will come in or say something, or my text will go off, or I'm responding in the comments. But I like going back and just kind of listening to it all again.
Me too. I really enjoy these conversations, and this whole thing came about because back in 2023, I mean, I've been somebody that's been doing live streams for a very long time. My background is digital marketing, and I was trying to think what would be a cool way to do some kind of live stream show for the Kratom community. And Venus and I were always talking about that attorney YouTuber, Emily K. Baker. Love her.
Yep, Emily Baker.
If you like the kind of like court TV, the trials, but having this attorney YouTuber explain everything with these court trials, she is awesome. And I was really into watching her live stream. She was doing, what was that huge trial a few years ago with the guy that killed his wife and son? It was such big news. She covered the daily trial, and she would explain everything that's going on in the courtroom so you understood what was happening. It's like, man, this is so interesting. And so I was like, I would love to do some kind of cool live stream, and we could watch Kratom videos and just talk about it. So that's what this whole thing turned into. It's like, I always notice on YouTube, there's so many videos of news stories about Kratom. And then you got some YouTuber trying to go viral. And there's a video about, Twinkle, can you mute when you're not chatting?
Oh,
a lot of background noise, background sounds, good sounds, but so yeah, this is just a little idea I had. And I'm so glad it's turned into such a awesome community hangout each week, and just, doing this together as a group. I love it. So thank you all for always being here each week. Those of you on the panel, as well as those who are in the chat. It's just so wonderful and great to see everybody. We have such a active chat room there. I love it. So next up, I want to play for y'all is a video that Claudia Morandi from Doctor Patient Forum put out. If you're not familiar with her, she's very big on social media. I think her TikTok is up to 400,000 followers now. I know she has a lot of followers, and she's just popular all over social media. Her and her community are really big with just putting out information to help people suffering in pain. She's not a Kratom consumer or a 7-OH consumer, but she's a big advocate for our community, which is always appreciated. And because she has such a powerful voice on social media, she does periodically make videos talking about Kratom and or 7-OH. And so she has a new one she's put up recently that I want to play for you all. So let's watch this one.
What's the war on Kratom really about? A few things. It's about getting Kratom consumers on the hardest opioid to physically withdraw from, Suboxone, the only opioid per the FDA that's linked to catastrophic dental decay, mouth trauma, and oral cancers. And it's also about justifying using opioid settlement funds to tackle Kratom addiction. And Andrew Kolodny is behind it. And my colleague called this at least 1 year ago. She said she listened to a podcast with one of the grief-stricken moms, Wendy Chamberlain, who blamed Kratom for her kids' woes. The same people did this with the opioid lawsuits, right? The moms and dads blamed the Sackler family and doctors, even though their kids weren't prescribed those medications. But they're following the very same playbook used in those lawsuits. And if you pay attention to mainstream media, you see how they're conflating those 7-0 products in with the pure leaf Kratom products. They did the same thing with overdoses. Do you know 99% of the overdoses in the country had street fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, alcohol, marijuana in their system? Very few people died after taking their legally prescribed opioid medications alone. And that's simply the truth. But this country really seems to struggle with the truth these days. So anyway, Kolodny would start calling pain medication heroin pills, and now he's calling Kratom an opioid. And voila, we've got all the makings of Kratom litigation. But I don't think this is going to go in Kolodny's favor because he's a frequent liar. You know, there's frequent flyers. Well, Andrew Kolodny is a frequent liar. If you are a Kratom consumer, I urge you to get involved. Protect Kratom. I don't know anybody who died after taking pure leaf Kratom, but I don't know anybody who died after taking their legally prescribed pain medication either. Thank you for supporting our efforts at the Doctor Patient Forum. Hang in there, folks. We're trying to get you help.
I love her. She's so awesome. Anyway, I wanted to play that for y'all because, you know, Kolodny is on the radar for all of us in the pain community because he's the reason why I lost access to my pharmaceutical pain opiates. He's
the reason people are in jail, including physicians.
Yeah, he's done a lot of horrible things. And now he's coming after Kratom. Oh boy, took away our pain meds, and now he wants to take away our Kratom. All of our money with these lawsuits is sickening. So I love that Claudia and her team are always calling this out. So because people need to be aware of this. It's just terrible. There was a comment while that was playing. I wanted to wait till that was done. Feed Me Seymour says, "Hello, Kratom Gals. I'm very upset. I went to buy my Kratom and the owner said, heads up, all Kratom will be gone by August 26th by the feds. Is that true? Where are you located at?" I would like to hear more specifics.
Well, but them saying by the feds, that seems to me like that person is
like something with that company,
like 708.
Like they're in trouble.
Yeah, I think you said Sacramento, California.
California's been confusing the way they've been doing
Very
things.
confusing.
That's where I'm at.
Okay,
It's
they're
very, like great
in California,
and
Sacramento.
they come
okay.
in and so
Sorry, go
they're
ahead.
near me, very close. So it's a up and down. You know, they are going in and sweeping everybody out, but it's technically not federal, but there are area jurisdictions where banned. Okay, so I really don't know. Even though I'm right here and I stay up on it, it's hard to tell what exactly is going on.
Yeah, you're breaking up a bit. Your internet's you've gotten all pixelated and you're all
At this moment, Sacramento is not under a ban, like Twinkle said. Tomorrow that could change because California cities and counties have been going rampant against it. But if you're talking federal, the only federal action that is going on right now is an attempt by the DEA to ban 7-0H.
Right. Right. So are you talking about 70H? Although that's not the date for like 70H technically, if they go through with it, would be as early as August 4th, which is what day is that? Is that Tuesday?
That's what I was wondering. I didn't know
Tuesday.
anything on that date that might have been happening either.
Yeah, August 4th. So that's this if this goes through August 4th, but then they could push it back in who knows? I mean, they basically can do what they want. So we'll see what they decide on. He said Fed. Interesting.
I would definitely ask him to elaborate on what information he's sharing you, because none of us know anything with that date on a federal level.
California has been weird with stuff, but at the state level, it's been very confusing what they're doing over there, but not at a federal, just at the state level. They've been taking Kratom off the shelves all over California, Kratom and 70H.
Yeah, because the Alcohol Beverage Control came in and said, okay, we're going to ban it. Well,
yeah.
But even that's state level. So for them to say Fed, I would definitely want to go back and talk to them and say, what is this information you're talking about?
They said they're going to do that. So report back and let us know whether you just, post it in the comments here. Come back to this live stream in, when it's the replay, and put in the comments to update us, or come check back next week, or both, and let us know, because I'd be curious to know, get more details. So anyway, all right, I got a really good video. Here's another one about California. California took all the 7OH off the shelves and no new shipments of any Kratom. Huh.
There are still California vendors, so I'm not sure how accurate that was.
Amy Seymour says, don't know what I will do without Kratom. I was on opiates all my life. I've been sober 30 years. Wow. Yeah, it's terrible, these things they're doing. And they think they're cleaning up this supposed war on drugs and the dark side of the Kratom and 7OH industry. And they're not taking into account the very large number, the bigger percentage of people that is for their pain, because they were abandoned by the medical community, or they chose not to use pharmaceuticals anymore.
Well, and it amazes me. We've had a war on drugs for 50 years now?
Long time.
Yet the fentanyl deaths are steadily increasing. The carfentanil deaths are increasing. The even straight heroin and cocaine deaths are increasing. So how's that working for you, feds?
Yeah.
I think this is a war you've done lost. You need to back up, regroup, and think.
Yeah, Corned Beef Hash is asking, when we hear the Fed's decision, will we do a short live? Possibly. Yeah, maybe. We could, to discuss. That's not a bad idea. All right, let's get to the next video. A friend of mine, Abram at Pure Infinity Botanical, is one of the very, very few Kratom manufacturers that is out there putting out educational videos constantly. Not too many are doing that right now. Two people I know that do it all the time are Abram at Pure Infinity Botanicals. We're getting ready to watch his latest video. It's really good. It's almost 9 minutes long, but it's worth the entire watch. And then my friend Kamal White, who's also a Kratom, they're both manufacturers of extracts and Kratom powder. And he's been putting out lots of really educational, awesome videos on his TikTok, X, and YouTube. Like they're both really good with this. And I love companies that do that are out there educating people. We hear so much of, well, nobody knows the difference between Kratom and 7OH. There are so many of us that are constantly trying to educate people so they understand. That's one of the things we've been doing here on the Kratom Gals for several years. Constantly.
Well, and Chris does a lot too, as do Dan and Sarah.
Yes, Christopher Organic Botanicals. Christopher is very good at that. Now that's more at the vendor, like at the manufacturer. So those two manufacturers, phenomenal job. Very few manufacturers are going to go on camera, show themselves, and educate. So I really commend them both for doing that. And then you got Kratom companies that, we've gotten to know some of these, great people behind these small Kratom vendor companies like Christopher Organic Botanicals. You got Dan and Sarah at Mitrospec. Happy Hippo is a bigger company, but they're great at this too. These companies that spend so much time and energy educating people and advocating for safe legal access to Kratom. And I would love to see more of that on the industry side. A lot of us do it as just Kratom consumers, but I love seeing more people do that on the industry side of things. But anyway, I want to play this video from Abram talking about the 7-OH ban that's coming and really trying to put some helpful information to people who are looking to quit, taper down. A lot of people are scared right now that utilize 7-OH and I'm sure y'all have seen a lot of people are talking about it on social media. I've gotten lots of DMs about it. People are trying to figure out what to do, especially because this is happening so fast. So let's watch this video together.
You've clicked on this video. The headline might have brought you here. So what I will tell you is we are filming this at the end of July. And as we step into August, 7-OH and its derivatives will become illegal in the United States on a federal level. If you've seen any of our videos previously, you know that I might have a relatively nuanced approach to talking about the subject of 7-hydroxy. Because of this channel, because of the advertising that we do online, I end up speaking to a lot of consumers, people all over the country who are in different circumstances from one another, but they share one thing in common. They're afraid and they're most likely addicted to 7-OH. Addiction, in my opinion, is not a substance issue, which is why I don't believe in prohibition. It is a society issue and it is an individual choice issue. That being said, there are a lot of things that are wrong with the 7-OH industry, just like there are things that are wrong within the Kratom industry. As an example, manufacturers who make products and don't tell the consumer what's in those products. As an example, manufacturers who make 7-OH products and name them after the same exact drugs you were probably addicted to 10 years ago. What else is wrong with the industry? Manufacturers who make products that put inhumane levels of the active ingredient into the product, all to satisfy the mechanism that exists within the industry. Shops all across America are constantly looking for better deals, which means cheaper product, stronger product, because in their mind, that is what's going to sell well at the store. So they're making the choice for you, the end consumer, and you're presented with the options that made sense to the business owner before putting them on the shelves. I want to make it extremely clear that you do not need to buy anything in order to quit 7-OH or MGM. Although you might be running out of time, you could progress with a taper, which basically means that you take away a small amount of the dosage that you would normally consume in a one-day period each and every day until you go from 300 milligrams to 3 milligrams. It's gradual, it requires discipline, but it's probably the most comfortable way to quit. Preceding all of this, though, it's extremely important to know I'm not a medical professional. I'm not an addiction counselor. I have no certificates on my wall, but I do have a beating heart and I do genuinely care about the people that I talk to. I don't believe that my products or any Kratom product will be the single answer to somebody's addiction to 7-OH. I think that people with the addiction might be struggling in other areas of their life. And I think those areas, if given the right time and attention, could help to prevent addiction in the future. But we're here now. And if you're watching this video and you're struggling and you're scared, what I'm here to tell you is you can do it. You can absolutely kick the habit. It's been done before. You can do it cold turkey. You don't need any other products to do it. It is going to be miserable. It is going to be difficult. You could also go to a doctor and they could prescribe you with a pharmaceutical product that might be able to alleviate your symptoms. And for sure, that doctor can give you better medical advice than I am currently capable of giving you. That doctor can actually guide you in a way that is legal and fair and backed by science and data. So I'm not anti-medical community. I do think it's tragic whenever a consumer that went from Kratom to 7-OH ends up on Suboxone, and that's a subject for an entirely different video. But the bottom line is self-belief and understanding that it will be uncomfortable and that it will get better every day is probably the most important thing that I want every one of you who is addicted to this product or a product like it to understand. Kratom is not necessarily the answer for everybody. I love it. I consume it every day. I think it's amazing, but that's my opinion. That's based on my personal experience. And if you have self-control issues with 7-OH, you may very well have the same self-control issues with Kratom if you were to make the switch. So really, in my mind, what's the point of switching if you're going to be addicted to yet another product? But if your quality of life improves, then maybe it's worth exploring. So a couple of questions that get asked to me all the time. What product did I use to quit 7-OH when I was consuming it? How much product was I consuming when I did take 7-OH? And the answer to that question is roughly 300 milligrams a day, every day. I experienced withdrawal symptoms from 7-OH that Kratom has never given me. I quit using a full spectrum Kratom extract. Quite frankly, I didn't skip a beat. I felt completely normal, but I didn't get a buzz. When you ask me, what product did I use to quit? You have to understand that it was to feel normal and not to replace the high that I was getting from 7-OH. And you need to remove the idea of being able to find a better substitute high from 7-OH or MGM because A, it's not healthy. B, it's not practical. C, it's going to send you down a dark path. No doctor is going to prescribe you heroin or fentanyl to give you a better buzz to replace 7-OH. They're going to give you something called Suboxone or methadone, which while it is capable of giving you a buzz, is nowhere near as magnanimous and wonderful as 7-OH made you feel for all of about 15 minutes at a time every time you took a tablet. Understand that 7-OH is extremely potent, and it's demanding a lot from your body's receptors. They're tapped out. Going from 7-OH to Kratom just means that you're taking a less potent analgesic, a less potent substance in replacement of 7-OH. And that means you're probably not going to feel anything. But for me, feeling normal and not skipping a beat, not having any interruption, not having any discomfort was a win. But that's because I was not fixated so much on the buzz that I was getting from 7-OH. So I want to make it really, really clear, guys. And to recap a couple of points, I'm not a doctor, not advising you what to do with your body. I'm sharing personal experience and in some ways experiences anecdotally of the people that I've interacted with over the last year. Listen to your body. Be patient with yourself. Do not beat yourself up over being in this position. You are not alone. There are literally millions of people who are in the same boat as you. There are people who got there willingly, knowingly. There are people who got there because they were given 7-OH instead of Kratom when they first visited that first shop, trying to explore a natural alternative to any other drug. Please do not shame yourself and do not beat yourself up over this. You are human. You make mistakes. This is a learning experience. And once you've got it behind you, you're going to be in a better place and you'll avoid it in the future. Let's talk about why someone would want to see 7-OH remain on the shelves. Number one, they're a chronic pain patient. Number two, they're not horribly addicted to it because they controlled their dose. Number three, maybe they're purchasing a product that's from a brand that's more reputable with smaller dosages per tablet. They're not buying the 200 milligram tablets, and they're sure as hell not buying one named after a street drug. So to them, they're viewing this as the loss of a tool. And for them, they are losing a tool. They're losing something that brought them quality of life. For those people, I feel horrible, although not guilty because I don't feel like I'm individually responsible for 7-OH being banned. What I think is responsible for 7-OH being banned is the vast majority of people who have abused this product, spent way too much money on it, blowing the industry up in terms of revenue overnight, and the companies that have operated unethically in the space. To you watching this video, if you are bummed out about losing the access to 7-OH, I'm sorry, but we all of us, myself included, need to be better about where we spend our money. And if you're buying products, whether they're shoes on your feet or the underpants that you're currently wearing, I'm wearing none, and you are not able to see any visibility from that company, you're not able to communicate with them, you know that they do unethical practices, don't spend your money there. Find the less unethical company to spend your money with if no great companies are available. Be more discerning with where you spend your money. We all have the opportunity to be better, and if collectively we decide that we're not going to put up with the BS that comes from the big brands and the small brands, then we'll have a better world to share. And those companies, by the nature of consumer demand, will have to change the way that they operate in the marketplace. So pick better brands, support small businesses. If your buddy opens up a shop across the road, go spend money with him. You just spent $160 on a pair of sneakers. You have money to buy from local businesses that care about the community. You have money to buy from brands that build their products in the United States. So my message to you guys is this: stay safe out there. Do not consider the drugs that are on the streets. Go to a doctor if you need to. Go to a doctor if you're unsure, if you're scared. If you have to go on Suboxone, there's no shame in that. You're a human being and you're in a dark place today, but you can fight to get out of that tomorrow. As always, we appreciate you tuning in for this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them below. Otherwise, please hit like and subscribe and reach out to us if you have any questions. It brings me joy.
I love his message. So good.
I do too.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Really
Very
good.
honest and open.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I love that he calls people out.
And so many great
Yes.
points. I mean, just so many great points.
Yeah. And he is like a VP at a Kratom manufacturing company. And to come out and make these types of videos, some of you may remember our regulars months ago, it was earlier this year, he made a whole series of YouTube shorts chronicling him stopping Kratom and taking a tolerance break and what he was going through each day and how it felt. And it's like, who does that? Like, who in the Kratom industry side does something like that? I thought it was amazing. And we even had him come on and talk about it here on the Kratom Gals, because it's so nice to see people being vulnerable in the industry to have these types of discussions, whereas most people are afraid to. And I understand being afraid to. I totally get it on the industry side. Most of them don't reveal who they are. I get it. But I want to, put a spotlight on people like Abram and also Kamal White, who are not afraid to be very public and talk about things that need to be talked about.
Yeah.
That's education right there. What we just saw, that's education that
and
a lot of
making
people
them,
doing.
Absolutely.
making themselves vulnerable like that makes them more real. And to me, makes what they're saying more accurate and true. Because I see the risk they're taking. I understand the risk they're taking. And for them to come out publicly and say these things makes me want to support them even more. Because they don't have to do what they're doing.
Right. And he's not saying buy our product. He doesn't even talk about their products. He is strictly educating. And I love that. If he was sitting here promoting his products in this video, I wouldn't be showing it. I love that he's just strictly there to educate. And he's had his fair share of being censored on social media. I mean, I've known him for several years and we've talked about it. He and I have talked about it before. It doesn't stop him, just like it doesn't stop us. Hasn't stopped us. This YouTube channel we're on right now, Kratom Real Talk, this is a newer channel as of mid-December. My previous one was called Kratom Stories Podcast. That was the first one I started with. YouTube deleted the entire account last December because they kept censoring us, and they just
no warning for your YouTube channel.
No warning. I lost all the videos, all those old Kratom Gals episodes.
I got to ask, are you backing up all your videos on this channel?
Yeah, ever since that happened, I make sure as soon as this is over each week, I go into StreamYard and I download a hard copy of the file every time. Yeah, because I just can't trust them, Yeah.
I'd hate to see everything you have done to date lost again because of censorship.
Yeah, and it's happened also on my TikTok several years ago. My first TikTok, they did the same thing. No warning. They deleted the account. So a couple of years ago, I just started over. And the one I have right now, thank goodness, they have not. I've been censored quite a bit on that account, but lately they have not been censoring us. And I'm just thrilled because as of right now, my current TikTok is at 8,800 followers. I've worked really hard. Again, as I said earlier, I do all this in my free time. This I don't get paid to do this. This is something because I'm just like you all. We're all passionate Kratom consumers and advocates that want to share our journey with others and talk about this plant.
And his website or channel is Pure Infinity, right?
Yeah, his is Pure Infinity
Okay.
Botanicals is the name of his company. That's also his YouTube channel name. So be sure to go support Abram. He has so many great videos on there. So definitely
Something I would like to see him or
Mhm.
someone talk about more is pause, because that is something that we have
Yes. Let me bring his account up
sadly
just like
not paid
show him.
enough attention to or talked about enough, and it is so real.
Yeah, this is his YouTube channel, his company's YouTube, Pure Infinity Botanicals, and it's that the username is also Pure Infinity Botanicals. So I definitely recommend following their channel and supporting their efforts. Abram does an amazing job of educating. I just love that. It's not a focus on, hey, buy our products. It's we're here to help you, and I love that tremendously. And I wish more people in the industry had the courage to do that.
Definitely.
I don't knock them for not doing it, but it would just be wonderful to see more people, being like him and being vulnerable and talking
Being
about.
able to and not worry about any backlash.
And it makes you want to buy their products and support them. My background is in digital marketing. I mean, one of the first things you learn in marketing and sales online is people want to buy from people they know, like, and trust.
Right.
In his videos, he's just sharing stuff that's helpful to others because he feels so strongly about it. And in that process, you're watching it, so you get to know him. He's very likable. As I said, I've known him for several years. Very nice guy. And through that process of watching the videos, you start trusting the source. And
Well,
so,
and to me, if a company is willing to take my money, they should be willing to stand up with me.
yeah. Well said. For sure. I want to play the Hamilton Morris video because it's so good. And I want to make sure people in our community, if you haven't watched this yet, I just thought it'd be fun for us to all watch it together because I'd like to watch it again. It was so good. And if you don't, first of all, if anybody doesn't know who Hamilton Morris is, you should Google him. Fascinating guy. He had a real popular TV show on Vice News years ago called Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia. And who can bet? Like, I just know of him and I've watched his Kratom stuff over the years, but who could really describe who he is and what he does in a general overview?
He's a young man that is not afraid to take on the tough topics, and he doesn't much care what somebody thinks of him. He's going to put the truth out there. And he has taken a lot of backlash through the years because of what he does. And it's so often it's not even that he's promoting something. He just wants you to know the truth and the facts. And he's going to do anything he has to get it out there. And I applaud him.
So he put out this video Tuesday on the 28th. So it's just been days ago. As of right now, it's already gone up in views since we started, because when we first started today, I was checking and it was at 437,000 views. Now it's at 441,000 views. So just in under 2 hours.
Wow.
It's already more. It's like, holy cow, what's going on here? Oh, I think Twinkle's.
Lots of interest.
Twinkle, let me turn off your other one. I see there's two of you. Okay. Is your internet acting up? You're muted, Twinkle. Okay. Yeah. I can tell you.
Yeah, it's when I find myself freezing. So
it keeps freezing up. Yeah.
I exit real quick and try to come back.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out. Okay.
I noticed it's real.
Yeah, it's definitely your internet. Well, just do what you can. It's all good if you have to leave and come back. But I want us to watch this video he put out. He made like a little mini documentary about the chemistry of 7-OH, and he goes into manufacturing facility. It's if anything, is so interesting just to learn more about the whole pharmacology of 7-OH and this behind the scenes, and the filmmaking is done in a really great, very creative way. And he's just an interesting person as it is.
And he works with Soren Shade. It doesn't get any better than that.
Soren Shade is one of his producers. And I've had Soren on the Kratom Stories podcast several years ago. And it was so interesting when he was telling the story of that. He was in college. Soren was, I think he was maybe a senior at college. I forgot how long he was in, but he was in college and he loved Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia. And he wanted to get involved and be a part of the show. And he ended up becoming a producer and traveling all around with Hamilton. And so he does a lot of the behind the scenes. His name does come up in the credits for this video. But it's 18 minutes long, but I think it's just a great watch. So I think we'll just watch it in its entirety, and we can just all use the live chat to chat with each other.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, so this will be fun watching together as a group and discussing in the chat while we're watching. So let's watch this. I just can't believe 441,000 views in just days. That says a lot. So let's watch it together. You know, I wonder if I should just take us off screen. So it's just, maybe I should do that for this, right? What do y'all think? Do you think it's good to stay on the side?
I think take off the screen.
So
So that we focus on him.
Yeah, I'm going to take us all off screen, but we'll be in the live chat with everybody. We're going to watch in its entirety. It's 18 minutes long. So yeah, let's do that. All right. We'll see y'all back on screen in just a bit, but we'll be in the live chat with you. So
you're like this, dude. Check this shit out. Hungarian, very few in the world. Whoa. Ultimate countercurrent chromatography instrument, period. It's the coolest thing on the planet. Super complicated. There's like, I got a book on it if you want a recommendation about it. It's really, really cool.
You're looking at 250,000 square feet between 7 different facilities. We have over 100 rotovapes. During COVID, we made hand sanitizer. So I had some 800-liter stainless steel reactors, 350 employees just for this. Production, R&D, tablet pressing, and then formulations and packaging and shipping. The finished product. So inside of there's a bottle. And then the rest of the company is about another 150 people on the cannabis side. It's no secret, American Shaman makes the highest quality CBD products in the world. But did you know they're made right here in Kansas City?
Vince Sanders is the founder of American Shaman, a cannabis company that was at the forefront of industrializing the production of 7-hydroxymetragenine.
We're well known for making cannabis products.
Like this.
And people started contacting us to see if we could make mitragynine shots. This is early 2020. So I just started reading all the papers I could find on Kratom.
The cure the drug overdose.
It can be a life-saving intervention.
Or a killer herb. We investigate Kratom.
I had never heard of it before we did the show. I was polling the audience information. Most of them have not.
And I came across a 2019 paper that the NIH had done and looked at mitragynine as a potential novel opioid replacement on a rodent study for anxiety and pain. What they came to the conclusion of is that, yes, this worked really well for both anxiety and pain management, but it wasn't the mitragynine. The mitragynine was a prodrug, and that their liver was converting 10% of mitragynine to 7-OH.
It's called 7-hydroxymetragenine.
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 7-hydroxymetragenine. Some people say metragenine as well.
And it was kind of an open call. Hey, looks like a potentially safe novel opioid. Big Pharma, come check this out. So I started digging around. I couldn't see anybody doing that, which was amazing in the midst of a huge opioid crisis. So I went to our scientists that were doing cannabinoid stuff, and I said, listen, stop all this. Solely focus on the 7-OH.
Did you know going into this that it would be so controversial?
It's being compared to opioids.
Can act like an opioid.
It's not just like an opioid. It is an opioid. It is not an opioid.
And they're marketed for children. They're gummy bears. They're bright colors. They're candy flavored.
we withstood immediately the AKA, but the biggest attacks came from the GKC Global Kratom Coalition, which is funded by Botanic Tonics. It's a guy named Jerry Cash, a very unsavory character.
Which is feel free.
Which is feel free.
Which is not 7-hydroxy.
Correct.
So the feel free guy is anti 7-hydroxymetragynine.
Very, very much so. Yeah.
Why would the kratom industry be pushing back on your kratom alkaloid?
Kratom sales started to plummet, traditional kratom sales. So they thought, if this is who's causing us to lose revenue, we'll just get them legislated down.
I know there's some legislation in the work to get 7-OH specifically scheduled.
The FDA is going to be recommending that the DEA consider 7-OH as a Schedule 1 controlled substance.
Due to all the pressures that the kratom industry had put on us with legislators that, oh my God, this is the next fentanyl wave and all that nonsense. We didn't have time to actually get our own ideas in place. We simply were fighting for existence and stopping these ban bills. And when the press started complaining about it, I invited them in. I was like, come on, see what we're doing. Nothing hidden here. This is not this terrible synthetic drug. This is, here's what we're doing. Here's how we're doing it. I'd be happy to show you exactly how we make it.
So our starting material is the kratom leaf itself. That goes into an extraction. Right now we use delimonene and a screw press, and that gets us about 75% mitragynine. Then that gets transferred over here. We start off with this reactor.
A centrifugal pump is used to transfer 850 liters of methanol into a 2,000-liter reaction vessel, followed by 8 kilograms of 85% mitragynine kratom leaf extract, 600 liters of water, and a 50-pound bag of Arm & Hammer sodium bicarbonate. A sample is taken for HPLC analysis.
So here, different.
As the bicarbonate buffered mitragynine solution is continuously stirred at room temperature, 8 kilograms of oxone in an aqueous slurry is added, followed by 600 liters of dichloromethane. Inside the reactor, mitragynine's electron-rich indole C2 to C3 pi bond attacks the electrophilic terminal oxygen of potassium peroxymonosulfate, the active oxygen transfer component of oxone. This diastereoselective oxygen transfer dearomatizes the pyrrolic portion of the indole, generating a transient oxygenated intermediate, possibly an epoxide.
That might be wrong. I need to double check that, but I'm fairly certain that's correct.
I saw a paper that suggested that. I'm wondering about this epoxidation.
We're fairly certain, according to the link read, that's what is going on.
Possibly an epoxide that undergoes intramolecular proton transfer to yield the indolinine product 7-hydroxymetragynine. A sample of the reaction mixture was compared to the mitragynine reference on HPLC.
Let's see if that does something. Okay, it's 2 to 5. Buddy that I've known since high school, like we've been friends since 9th grade. He did heroin, he did fentanyl, and 7-OH got him off of it. Like, a lot of the time, right, people will hear other people talk about it, and they're like, oh, well, that guy drinks the Kool-Aid because he works there, all the stuff. But it's like, I watched that happen. Like, he's alive because of this stuff. And it's always weird to me that they want to just get rid of it. There's not even a fight for, let's just pull it off the shelves and put it into clinical trials, anything. And it's frustrating to see.
So we have a starting material sample. We're expecting to see an almost completed reaction, if not a completed one. And then on your 8 kg, you'll see 3. You'll see a byproduct, a product, and then your starting material if it is still there. And you'll see it grab the first sample right now.
Where does the mitragynine come from?
Like, is in the word or like?
Like, where do those sacks of mitragynine come from?
The sacks come from our extraction facility.
Oh.
But I think we've moved out of that facility because of the Kansas line. That facility was in Kansas. And they've scheduled kratom as a whole over there.
Every customer I've talked to, they all say the same thing. They're just going to order it online.
Prohibition don't work. It is what it is.
So you're not doing any more mitragynine extraction?
No, we're not allowed.
Oh, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks a lot.
As of 2 weeks ago, we had to completely shutter that facility, laid 50 people off, have pulled all the equipment, got all the materials out of there. Since the ban, absolutely nobody has ordered, right? Everybody's just trying to get off their stock, scared to death. So, right, literally Friday, we laid off 300 people. Let that number settle in.
After HPLC shows the mitragynine has undergone at least 80% conversion, the stirring is stopped and the DCM is pumped from the reactor into a 400-liter stainless steel transfer vessel. And vacuum fed into a series of 10 50-liter rotovabs, where the DCM is stripped and recycled for use in future oxidations.
So it's derived from kratom, but experts are warning that it's a lot more potent and a lot more serious than just natural kratom.
7-OH is not natural.
You can think of 7-OH as going from amphetamine to methamphetamine.
It's almost like comparing kratom, like a Percocet 5 to an Oxy 80.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's right back to reefer madness. That's what it feels like. Right? It's 1930s reefer madness, 7-OH madness. You know, I say on the lobbying side, we crushed the kratom industry. But on the propaganda side, I mean, they killed us. They just killed us.
That is Vince Sanders, one of 7-OH's loudest proponents. Fun fact, he was once a car salesman / large-scale illegal marijuana dealer. And even funner fact, after he was arrested in 2000, his attorney argued in court to void his prison term, citing, among other things, the tax revenue lost from having the #1 Acura salesman in the US behind bars. And I shouldn't go to prison because I'm America's #1 Acura salesman might be the saddest sentence of all time.
It is what it is. But, you know, I've never backed down from any of it because I have no question that the overall good is vastly greater than any of the bad. Well over 2 billion servings at this point of 7-OH. No single death attributed to solely 7-OH. You know, there's anything that 7-OH was in somebody's blood supply, they had, you know, their polypharmac 6-8 different substances in there. So we know this is an incredibly safe substance. Why would we get rid of it and potentially open up something that's not safe? Because that's most likely what will happen. When they dramatically cut down on opioid prescriptions after all the oxy scare, that worked well. The opioid dose doubled in a few years. Yeah, they immediately went to heroin, and then cartel said, "Oh, wait a minute, no, this fentanyl's a whole lot cheaper and easier to bring in. We'll do that." Then they really jumped. This is whatever they replace 7 with is going to be more dangerous than 7. I pray if they bring something in, they bring 7 in. So at least it's safe if they don't cut it with something.
Yeah, this will do 2D, proton, oxygen, phosphorus, carbon, nosies, cozies. I think it'll even do 3D. There's a lot of people in chemistry that are like hyper anal about exactly how you do everything and the correct Amundo way, and you can get as complicated as you want.
He's talking about me. I am like this.
It's a pretty big investment.
Yeah.
Why'd you go for it?
Well, because we're doing lots of R&D, and everybody was convinced that to really know what we were making, that we needed something like this. As long as we're allowed to exist, I don't mind whatever the regulations are, how high that bar might be. We'll meet them. And the people that can't meet them, then maybe they shouldn't be in it. Although dealing with people like the FDA and things have been a nightmare, they've only made us better at the end of the day, and we'll continue to get better.
What is Leonard doing here?
Alleged to have produced 90% of the world's LSD, Leonard Picard spent 20 years in maximum security prisons, but has since served as a drug policy fellow at Harvard's Kennedy School of Government, research associate in neurobiology at Harvard Medical School, and deputy director of the Drug Policy Analysis Program at UCLA.
Leonard is a science advisor, somebody that I have a lot of respect for and enjoy as a human being.
Yeah, great, cool.
Yeah.
See you later.
All right, I'll see you later.
Have fun today.
Yeah, but yeah, he's a special guy.
The crude 7-hydroxymetragenine is then redissolved in 45 liters of methanol, and a peristaltic pump is used to transfer the solution into a 200-liter glass reactor, where it's purified by a liquid-liquid extraction. The vessel is charged with 75 liters of nanopure water, followed by 35 liters of an ethyl acetate hexane solution, and then the methanolic 7-hydroxymetragenine. I just watch all these arguments cross the same divide, where on one side you have someone saying it's not doing anything bad, and then on the other side you have someone saying it's doing something very, very bad. And the not bad people say not bad, therefore no prohibition, and the bad people say bad, therefore prohibition. But prohibition shouldn't even be part of this equation to begin with. It's a health medical problem, not a criminal one. And so even if you hate it, even if you think it's terrible, even if you think no one should ever take it, prohibition is not a good solution, because it will interfere with science. It will result in it becoming a criminal concern where people are arrested for it. It will only cause problems. And of course, if new opioids will emerge inevitably.
And this caught us completely flat-footed. We didn't have an inkling it was coming. It was like some kind of black ops operation. It was total silence. It just showed up.
Who do you think initiated it?
Well, I don't know if I want to say on camera. I'm a little worried, right? I mean, I personally think it was Mullins.
These individuals that are selling know what they're doing. They know the individuals are targeting. They know the loophole and sell it as a dietary supplement.
Senator Mark Wayne Mullen has been a vocal critic of 7-hydroxymetragenine, a position industry insiders think was influenced by his $500,000 to $1 million stake in Botanic Tonics, the manufacturers of a competing Kratom product.
As head of Homeland Security and a large investor in Botanic Tonics, I have a feeling those New York Times articles and stuff shook him up and pissed him off. It's like, all right, well, fuck, let's kill this. And then you also have Kinley, who's a personal friend of J.W. Ross's. By just a crazy dealing of the cards, we've got two cabinet secretaries that are directly connected.
We're looking very seriously at natural 7-OH and getting that approved, natural 7-OH. And we'll take a look at that very strongly. I think us and everybody.
Pretty weird set of circumstances, but that's what it is.
As the two phases are mixed, organic impurities and inorganic sulfate and bicarbonate salts from the oxidation partition into the aqueous phase, while the 7-hydroxymetragenine remains in the upper organic layer. The upper layer is pumped into a different series of 50-liter rotovabs, where the hexane and ethyl acetate are stripped, and the 7-hydroxymetragenine puffs into a solid foam that is manually scraped and processed with a blending apparatus, before being transferred into baking dishes for removal of residual solvent traces in a vacuum oven. How much time is there?
August 6th is, I mean, if it goes horrible, August 6th is when it could stop. Not a lot of time. The big call to action would be, please visit the HHS website and leave your testimonial of what 7-OH has done for you, how it's made your life better. And if it's made it worse, leave that, right? But let's just put the truth out there.
Oh, interesting. Oh my gosh.
He never fails to educate.
That's the end of it, by the way. So I was just trying to get it right at the end. Whoa.
Phenomenal,
Educational.
isn't it? Isn't that absolutely amazing?
Very educational.
Nothing
is.
like
And I
they
love
led
how
us
he
to
says at
believe
the
it was
end,
going to be.
let's get that truth out there. Shall we? Let's get that truth out there. Like, it's just amazing to see it firsthand, like how it's done, definitely not no pool shock.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely is very different from this narrative that's been pushed out.
Very
about,
eye-opening.
The way this is done. I mean, look, you're gonna have good actors and bad actors in the industry, just like there are in the natural kratom industry. Same thing with in the 7-OH industry.
Like I wonder, it's like, how all these people get, paid off. I wonder wouldn't put it past me now, like these tablets, the Roxys and all this. It's like, I'm kind of going to head on to a little deep dive and find out where their money came from out of the blue, because it's not like, I know like where the powder 7-OH and tablets are coming from. And it's not where these gas station products are coming from. So I really want to know who's funded all of that, like, and where they came from, like, so quickly, like.
I don't even know why some of these products were allowed to stay on the shelves as long as they were, with names like Perks, Dopium, all these crazy drug names with these crazy high doses of 7-OH. Why was that allowed to be on the market as long as it was? That just is something I can never understand that. Yeah, tell us.
My personal opinion, it was allowed so that they could get to this point to ban completely.
Yeah.
Let's let all the worst come out and then ban it. And those manufacturers, Dopium, Perks, brought about the demise.
Yeah, that would not be surprising at all. And not at all. I would not be surprised by that. Yeah. So that was very informative.
Forced to go back to plain leaf kratom.
That was so informative. I'm so glad we all watched this together as a group. When it came out this week, I was just so wowed by it, just trying to, look, I like to learn things. As I've said a million times here, I don't use 7-OH. I don't advocate for people to go out and use it, but I'm all about, let's have conversations and let's talk about our personal experiences. And just because we have several panelists here that are utilizing 7-OH very therapeutically, they're not having addiction issues, they tell a very different story than this one-way street narrative we've been force-fed for years now. There's nothing wrong with looking at things from multiple angles and educating yourself. And what I've been doing this year is I'm taking the time to educate myself. And, if others in the kratom industry don't like it, it's too bad. Like, it's like, what? It makes you wonder why they spend so much time talking about that, where it's like, we're not allowed to have our own opinion and our own thoughts and do our own research. Makes no sense to me.
I mean, let's do a real tinfoil hat type moment. Look through history. Who hates it when there is an educated populace?
Yeah.
And that's all any of us are doing, is trying to educate and advocate.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be received well by those.
No, because when you just say ban, it's just scaring people. It's not giving them the education they need to make the decision themselves. And I think that's what they want. That's
what they want. People. That's what they want. Yeah, absolutely. That's what they're going for. Sadly, but it's okay to not fall into that and to learn things for yourself and stop following the herd. As I mentioned last week, I'm done following this herd mentality. So many kratom consumers, have decided, no shade on anybody, follow the herd if that's your thing. I totally get it. But just because we're all trying to get a little more enlightened and listen to other people's stories, hearing Twinkle sharing her personal journey with both natural kratom and these small amounts of 7-OH, and all anybody has to do is just watch her here week after week. We've been with her for years, seeing this transformation. The transformation's unreal with Twinkle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this
I'm not going to dismiss that.
It takes me back so much to the 2015, 2016, because these are the same lies, the same BS, the same trash that we were forced to deal with back then. We're
Like
10
verbatim,
plus
like
years
the
in,
narrative
and
is exactly
nothing
the
is
same.
better. Nothing has changed. That's a failure on our parts. I mean, I hate to admit it, but it straight up is a failure on our part to allow this to be occurring again. And I don't think it's a deliberate failure. It's a failure of omission almost, because we did get comfortable in the fact that Kratom was legal. Kratom was relatively safe from bans. We should never have relaxed.
Yeah, definitely. And while we're talking about 7-OH, last week on the Kratom Gals, Robin, you brought up something really interesting during, I know it was a long conversation, but I did go back and listen. I usually go back and listen to us again, just like we've talked about earlier when we first started. If we've been here for an hour and 59 minutes, so we're at the 2-hour mark. But it's always interesting because when we're here and we're in it, it's easy to miss things. And when I go back on the replay, I'm like, I always catch little things. And one of the interesting things you said last week, Robin, you brought up the fact that your stance started changing with 7-OH when we here collectively watched the New Hampshire hearing. They had their Senate hearing that Amanda spoke at, and so did Dr. Cornell Stansu. And he said some really interesting things, and it really opened up my eyes too, because he said some things that we're not always hearing. And he is a well-known Kratom researcher. And he spoke at this New Hampshire Senate hearing that was back in February. And I'm just going to play a short clip of it so everybody can be reminded about what he said about 7-OH, because it was quite, and again, this just goes back to educating yourself.
And he is such a bipartisan speaker.
Yes.
He doesn't pick a side. He is here for the research, period.
Yeah, he's a researcher scientist, and that,
he's very nice, and we had a great conversation after. Like he genuinely wants to know and learn, like he was all for learning about my experience, which was great.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm gonna play a little bit, just a short clip of him, because he had said something very interesting here.
Actually, I wanted to mention, I heard a lot of talk about synthetic here. And what we're really discussing with 7-OH, and it's not included in there, is semi-synthetic, because 7-OH is not synthetic, it's semi-synthetic. It's found in the plant. So when you take nitrogenine and you make it into 7-OH in a lab, that's semi-synthetic. When you take other alkaloids and you manipulate it in the lab to nitrogenine, pseudoindoxyl, that's synthetic. So I would like to see this semi-synthetic wording being used. So overall, with these small additions,
he says something so profound there. So I don't remember all the details with that ban proposal. You were there, Amanda. I guess he didn't like the wording because they were saying synthetic, which is also something we hear being thrown out all the time in the industry, the anti-7-OH in the Kratom industry. They keep saying synthetic. But he wanted to make sure it was put into that New Hampshire Senate bill. It is semi-synthetic, but when you make the other, the 7-OH, but like the pseudoindoxyl is actually the synthetic. And I think it's so important for these things to be laid out for all of us that want to learn about these things, because it changes.
He wanted it on the record. Yeah, he wanted it on the record, and he was willing to spend some of his time to enforce that need and belief. And that's when my eyes kind of got opened. It was like, wait a minute. All this time, all I have ever heard is synthetic.
Right.
So
people are using it to almost, they're trying to make their argument better by saying it's synthetic and it's not man-made. And I mean, not all synthetics are in the first place. I mean, some of them save sick people's lives, but it's almost to make the argument stronger that it's no longer natural, and it is partially natural. That's why it's a partial synthetic. It still has natural elements to it, and so I'm glad you said that. That's important.
Well, I mean, if we're going to put the truth out there, we need to make sure that it is noted, like when people are saying, oh, it's a synthetic. No, hold on, let's correct you, and it's like so many are so against, oh, it's a synthetic. Well, okay, well, what about your prescription medications? It's like, hi,
right.
Oh, that's doctor approved. Well, yeah, come on now.
So like my Anacin that I took this morning, Anacin is a combination, is available over the counter anywhere. It is aspirin and caffeine combined. It is an over the counter drug you can buy. It is, that, how is that different? That's a synthetic. However they create
it's
that,
not
but
like
you
Tramadol is synthetic.
You can smell the chemicals in it. Like that's the only thing gross. It works real well on me, but every time I open that bottle, the whiff you get out of it, you can smell the chemicals coming from it.
And when we're taking aspirin, it's not like we're going out and eating white willow bark, which is where aspirin originally comes from. So everything that we consume that has aspirin is a synthetic base from a natural plant.
Yeah.
But 7-0 breaks that barrier and is semi-synthetic. And that's very
noticeable. We're not
noticeable.
trying to say that makes it better, but it's like, it's important to understand the truth. And
Yeah.
And then you start realizing we're being fed. Yeah, we're being fed a lot of disinformation, and that pisses me off because disinformation is purposefully being done.
And a tablet or two, or even if somebody took 30, 40, 50 milligrams of 7 a day, that's not going to cause respiratory depression. That was, those tests were via injection and intravenous. You put anything in somebody with that route of administration, and it's going to be boom and a blast, so, they kind of kept going with that one too, but it would take a lot, and it would probably also take other substances to ever get to the point of respiratory depression. So I know in what I take, I'm far away from that at all. And most people that take it for pain are also far away from that. So.
Yeah. Well, we've already been here 2 hours. I think I got one more video I want to play, and I think we'll start a couple more short videos. I think we'll play and start wrapping up. I don't want to do another 3.5 hour episode. Those are long.
Yeah. But every once in a while,
my legs and back aren't going to take 3.5 hours today.
Yeah. So, plus I need to get a new office chair. This chair really bothers my back. I mean, in a short period of time, my back starts hurting every time I sit in this chair. So that's like my sign that I need to go get a new chair. I've got an interesting video that I want to just play a short clip of. It's a YouTube channel called Recoverable and recovery.com, but they have this discussion about kratom that I thought was interesting that y'all should hear.
So when we talk about opioid use disorder, what specifically are the drugs that we mean by opioids for people who aren't familiar with that?
Sure. So when we talk about the opioid epidemic, we are really talking about the widespread prescription of pain medications in the opioid class. Mm-hmm. So things that patients have probably heard about and that listeners have heard about. So oxycodone, hydromorphone, those were things that really got out and had a public impact because it really affected huge portions of the population. Mm-hmm. Also within that class are some illicit drugs, so things like heroin, now largely fentanyl, and potentially most dangerous that we should mention in this class is something like kratom. So kratom.
What? Did y'all catch what he just said?
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Talking about opiates, pharmaceutical and illicit, but what's more dangerous is kratom?
Kratom is more dangerous than all of them. Not
what?
I just don't get how they can even lump them into the same category because they're just so different.
I know, because y'all probably wondering, like, why is she starting here? Because he's talking about opiates and he's naming them. I'm like, oh, y'all just wait for it. Okay, let me keep going. But I had to stop there because I'm like, where on earth
does the lies just continue?
It's sickening. All right, let's keep going.
Kratom is actually something that's available in gas stations and smoke shops, but it's an opioid alkaloid and it works pretty much the same way. And
opioid alkaloid? I don't think, has it been referred to
It
that?
is not. He's lying.
Where? I don't think I've ever heard it called an opiate alkaloid. And he's talking like
I've
he's the
never
expert.
heard that.
Look
And then
like
he's
oh.
talking like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And people are going to listen to this, believe it, and then go on to tell other people. And why do they do stuff like this? Misinformation.
It is not an opioid. It is not an opiate.
But he thinks it's an opioid alkaloid.
Alkaloid. Come on.
All right, let's keep going. It's a shocker one.
those are now an emerging issue in many of the patients that I serve as they become addicted to those things, in addition to the ones I've mentioned.
And did you say they can be more dangerous?
So danger is relative.
Okay.
I think they can be more dangerous because they're appearing in more and more parts of the population. For example, I live in downtown Philadelphia. A Kratom drink shop just opened up down the street from me. So they sell kava and.
So he's saying because this is so easily available, it makes it more dangerous in his. Is that what I'm trying to understand the logic in every part he says?
Right, because he can't walk by the kava shop and not walk in, right?
Because it's everywhere. Is
alcohol and cigarettes are so easily available. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so easy available. Well, maybe something that's safer and healthier and good that's available. They don't want it there. Let's scare it all away.
Yeah, this is a crazy.
This guy is just a.
Yeah, we still got like another.
Who's paying this?
Right.
What?
Well,
A DB, like
recovery center. All right, we got a little more.
Kratom mixed into what is billed as a health drink. So people are buying these things, potentially being unsuspecting that they're taking opioids. I think people would feel very differently if they were drinking, turmeric infused heroin.
Right.
But these are marketed in a way that they're.
What?
Turmeric infused heroin.
Himself. How?
This guy is an idiot. Like,
where is he?
On this one needed a 5-item throw warning. Oh my!
Yeah. I'm sorry. I should have given you the warning. Like, what? I
wonder who's paying him.
Doctor, I wouldn't want him to be my doctor. He's so not.
And who is this guy again?
He could kill somebody.
Who is he?
Center. So we're almost done, and then we'll see what the description says. But it's some recovery center, I believe.
Oh God,
fully
that's
natural
terrible.
And all of that. All of the opioids, everything in the class, is a derivative or a synthetic derivative of opium. Opium comes from poppy seeds. That's really the base of this class. And all of the derivatives just affect people differently as far as potency and half-life and all of those things.
All right, we're going to
He
stop
keeps
there.
looking down. It looks like he's reading a script. He has no idea.
Kratom is a plant. It's not derived from opium.
This guy's an absolute idiot. If he's working in recovery, God, get him out. He has no idea what he's talking about.
No, he's dangerous. He is actually dangerous.
So here's what the description says. This is Dr. Stephen Klein, MD, PhD, a triple board certified physician in pediatrics, genetics, and addiction medicine, who serves as full-time faculty at care and treatment centers. Dr. Klein brings a deeply authentic perspective to the table as a professional in long-term recovery himself, diving into the raw mechanics of medications for opioid use disorder. What the heck? Oh my God, this guy.
Of course he wants medications for opioid use disorder.
Of course.
How much is he getting paid off? Yeah. What pharmaceutical or what's paying him off to keep sitting here spewing out all those lies?
Oh my God.
Wow.
That was pretty crazy.
That has to be one of the worst we have seen so far.
The turmeric infused heroin. That one.
For energy, I send him an email and tell him how wrong he. Just one not even the paragraph, just a sentence. But I don't have the energy. But we really should start doing that with some people. Whether or not they take it to heart, hopefully it would just provoke somebody into going to learn and doing a deeper dive. I'm not trying to be ever rude to people, but to
exactly.
at least go find the truth. My goodness, because otherwise you're just really misleading.
Yeah, That was 2 minutes of a much longer video.
He
Oh, Angela,
truly
you can
is
look
a
up doctors to
danger.
see how much they've received from the pharmaceutical industry. Good to know.
Yeah,
Good to
to
know.
me, he truly is a danger because he is
He really
preaching
is.
this
He really
to
is.
people that are coming in need of help.
Exactly.
And you know as well as I do that he's pushing them to subs, pushing them to others.
Of course.
Come
Well,
on.
and this comment's the best. Patience over profit. That's what it should be. It should always be. That right there was profits over patience, and let's put out a disinformation campaign and lie about the truth. I mean, those are just straight up lies he's peddling for money.
And why aren't the two big advocate companies, and I call them companies, not orgs,
They are companies.
why aren't they going after this?
That popped in my head right when you started saying it. Why is there so much attention on the Kratom Gals who, live and let live, whatever all these ridiculous names and labels have been put on us because we have open, honest discussions? Why not point the finger? And these are the people that are giving Kratom a bad name. It's like nothing gets, they just keep doing it. Because
he was talking purely Kratom too. He wasn't talking any of the semi-synthetics or synthetics.
He was talking about
He was saying Kratom.
Kratom. Yeah.
He needs to be stopped.
Yeah, and that was just off the rails.
That was
I knew that would get
horrid.
everybody all riled up. So I think the last video should be something a little more relaxing and a little more fun because we need.
Oh, thank you.
We need
My
something.
BP needs it.
We need something a little more fun. And I used to find more videos like this one I'm about to show you, but I haven't. I just don't see these as much as I used to. But let's watch something that's just a little more relaxing. Isn't that more calming? Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was wonderful. It was so calming.
That's what I knew. That's what we needed to wrap up with, something nice and calming. And like I said in the comments a moment ago, it's just a leaf. I think that should be our phrase of the day that everybody
There
puts
you
in the
go.
chat.
Just a leaf.
So for people that are here live, watching us right now, go put in the chat, live chat right now, put it's just a leaf and put a leaf or some kind of nice emoji with that. And for those watching the replay, we are at the 2 hour and 17-minute mark. So thank you for getting this far in the replay, and put that in there too, so we know you got to this part, to the end. It's just a leaf. That's all this is. It's just a leaf off of a tree. Not like what that previous guy said in the video we just watched. It's a opiate alkaloid.
Yeah.
Yeah, an opioid alkaloid.
That's not what it looked like to
comes
me.
from opium.
Oh my goodness.
That was not opium plants they were harvesting.
No, not at all. Wow, we watched a lot of stuff too. We watched some interesting things. We watched 9 videos today.
How far through your list did we get? Because you said you had 11 things.
Yeah, 11. We watched 9.
Awesome.
So we did a lot. We did a lot too. We had lots to watch. So, yeah, thank you everybody for posting in the chat. And if you haven't done so yet, like and subscribe our YouTube channel so you don't ever miss anything. And we've been putting in a best of the. I know these Kratom Gals episodes are so long. We were talking about it earlier for anybody that weren't here in the first half of the show, but I've been starting to put a best of version, kind of the best of the entire chat. So that way for people that don't have time, because last week was a long one. I know not everybody's going to go watch a replay of a super long episode. A lot of people do, surprisingly. We get a lot of, our views last week is the second highest ever. Our highest views is our famous February 14th episode, where
we were sharing the love on that day, literally Valentine's Day, sharing the love.
We sure were. But last week's is our second highest views, which is, it just shows that people in our community love this type of content, and y'all want to keep coming back for more. Look, you can't monetize a YouTube channel in the Kratom industry. It doesn't work like that. You don't sit here and make money. We're passionate Kratom consumers that like coming on here and doing this.
You can't bully us out of talking about our experiences and sharing, just sharing our experiences, and or a video like that we see on the news, like we're sharing our experience. None of us are doctors. Like, we're just out here living our best lives, just
exactly.
Let us be. Leave us alone.
And nobody can take it away.
Exactly what I was going to say. Leave us
Leave
alone.
us alone.
Yep. Oh, that's that's a good one. Maybe that'll be our phrase next week. That's a good one. Leave us. I'm gonna put that in here so as a reminder.
Yeah, leave us alone.
Us alone.
We used to use that one back in the day.
Oh yeah, gosh, I remember that one.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's just a leaf. That's all it is. Thank y'all for being a part of this with you all. We love coming here each week and doing this, and
hang in there this week. Hang in there this week. Yeah, hang in there this week, guys. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. We have a lot of numbers. We've got this. And if
a whole lot of numbers,
we've got this. We're not done. The fight does not stop here for all of this plant.
Exactly. We're not done fighting. We're not done fighting.
Yeah.
And always remember, you're never alone.
Absolutely. Reach out if anybody needs to talk this week. I'm available. You guys know I'm on Facebook. I'm also on the school community. So we are here if you need to talk.
Yeah.
Always. My phone is available 24/7.
Y'all are all awesome people.
And we have the support group Thursday and Sundays on school at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, come join our Kratom Real Talk.
Because Venus and I sometimes we're laying down. We're just in our beds or on.
Yep.
Do it very informally then, so it's certainly okay for anybody. Come in pajamas if you want. You don't even have to turn the camera.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's casual.
You don't have to even turn the camera on.
Yeah, it's casual, and it's like a Zoom call over in our school community. And so come hang out with us. We do it every Sunday, so tomorrow at 3:00 Eastern, and we also do it on Thursday afternoons at 3:00 Eastern. When you're in our Kratom Real Talk community, I got the link there on the bottom of the screen. We have a calendar section with all the stuff we do. There's so many different things we do, not just this. And We're also our TikTok. We're back to doing a Friday TikTok live. We used to do those. We're back to doing it again. It's so liberating to talk about Kratom in a TikTok live. We couldn't do it for a long time. We used to get into so much trouble just saying.
And what time Friday?
On Fridays at 5 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
4 o'clock Central. So we're back to doing those. Yeah, we used to do that a few years ago, and TikTok just got so strict.
Yeah, we never had as many people watching and talking as we do now.
A lot more people are in there with us now, but we would be lucky when we did them a few years ago if we had 7 or 8 people, and TikTok would put a little notice up and say that it can't be in the For You, and they let you know when the AI has detected what the conversation is, and because we're talking about Kratom, even though we would use code words, like they still knew. One time they deleted the stream in the middle of the conversation because I was sharing my personal experience going from pain meds and pain management to Kratom, and it literally, my screen went black on my phone, and they put me in a timeout, a TikTok timeout for a week. And they don't do that. They're not like that. I mean, they still have their community guidelines, but they're way easier to deal with now. I haven't gotten in trouble with TikTok in a while, so it's so refreshing. It's so sad, the restrictions we have.
Quickly.
Talking about the plant. Yeah. Craziness. But I always find a workaround. That's just how I am. I will always find a workaround. And we have our school community, because my first TikTok account got deleted a couple of years ago for talking about Kratom. And I was so pissed. I'm like, we need a place where there's no censorship. And being the digital marketing, social media person, community builder for decades, I'm like, let me find a good home for us. And I knew school would be the best place, and it's been awesome. We can talk so freely about Kratom. And I know there was a 7-OH community, but I believe they shut down recently.
Yes, they did. And then Becca and then
Becca,
they just got theirs, which is awesome.
They just started theirs, which is great. So if
definitely go follow them.
Yeah, if anybody's over in school, you got ours, which is Kratom Real Talk. Taunton Bay literally this week started one. It's called Everything Kratom. So just go to school.com and look up Everything Kratom. We need more of these. I'm trying to get people to do more of these. Like, we need more people in the Kratom industry and community to, Facebook groups are not the same. Like Facebook, we all know Facebook hates Kratom. We can't talk about it. I've been in Facebook jail for live streams for like 3 months. I don't even live stream. I don't even talk about Kratom on there. But because last year, when I was on NBC Nightly News, because they did a story on me about Kratom, I did a post on my personal Facebook, and several months back, the AI bots in Facebook saw it, and I got dinged, and they said I had these restrictions on my account. I've had my Facebook account since like 2007, and I don't even hardly talk about Kratom on there. I use it for other stuff, but they won't let me live stream. I do a business live stream every week. I've been doing it forever. They won't let me do it on there because of that. And I think a lot of people in the Kratom community are realizing, like, Facebook is like, you just can't talk about it anymore. A lot of people have lost their personal profiles, their business pages, their groups.
Lost mine.
It's terrible. Yeah. It's terrible.
Wonderland lost 3 groups. And the last one that went down, we didn't make another one after that. It's
defeating. It's very defeating.
And when NACU went down, that was
that was popular.
The amount of knowledge and information that was in that group alone was just. There was a lot of us that had literally were in tears that day. Like, there was just so much lost, so much.
NACU was from all the way back.
Oh, that was a phenomenal group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for spending time with us today. We appreciate it. So much great stuff we watched together and talked about. For anybody that hasn't been here from the start, once we end and just a little bit here, go watch the replay. This was a good one. They're always good. But this one was really good today. And thank y'all for holding down the fort when I had to step away. My poor dog.
Not a problem.
My dog's been having some issues. So yeah.
Sorry about my little issues.
She's all good. Oh, you're all good. Your internet's working better now, Twinkle.
I don't know what when next week we will have a better one, but we had to get a quickie one to have for now, but we'll get a better one. It should be by next week. By next Saturday should be fine.
And you're in your new home today.
Yeah.
And as always, beaming. You look great.
You.
And you know what? I have to share this tweet I put up the other day because I was so proud of myself what I wrote because I thought it was so good. I was in the moment. So let me show you all this. You know, I know some people do not understand why I'm an ally to people in the pain community that utilize therapeutic amounts of 7-OH. But, you know, that's Twinkle right there. She did a tweet the other day. And, you know, she just moved. She's had all these things going on in life. And y'all can see she looks great. So
old house, too.
I did a quote tweet because I wanted to share my personal opinion. And I said, Twinkle, you're showing just how preposterous the narrative is that everyone who uses 7-OH is addicted or a junkie. Thank you for having the courage to speak out. I mean, I don't know how anybody could look at Twinkle or look at Amanda and other people in the community that are not having issues with this. And I'm so glad I opened up my eyes to this instead of listening to what the herd is following. And I just, you know, people can follow the herd, do whatever. I don't care about that. You do you. I'm going to do me. And doing me is, you're just doing so great, Twinkle. And I'm so happy for you because I remember how your demeanor used to be. And very different from what we see in you, what we've seen in you for quite a while.
Thank you.
And you're just showing everybody through your actions. And you've gone to California to speak, to testify for both Kratom and 7-OH. There's this misconception, this rumor that goes around saying that y'all only advocate for 7-OH or y'all don't advocate at all. You advocate for both.
Well, she was also a big advocate in the pain community prior, you know, to Kratom and 7-OH, you know. So I mean, I thank you, you know, I thank you for being a voice for you, for us, for everybody, you know, because it's sad. It's sad. People who live with chronic pain, we already know the struggle. Like, that sucks in general. We already know we can't get the help, but like, people to start sitting there like calling us junkies or whatever because we're taking something like an extract like 7-OH, like, come on, do better. Like, you guys all know what it's like to live in pain. Don't sit there and look at me differently because, you know, I'm taking a stronger something versus, you know, it's like a doctor will give, you know, somebody a Flexerol where another one will have like a Soma, you know, it just depends. It depends. Like, it's sad. Like, stop diminishing what people are taking, whatever they're taking this plant for. It's just, it's sad to see the divide still. It's sad. It's sad.
It really is.
You know, it really is. Like, I'd like to see if we were all together, what those numbers would have been. Because those numbers are phenomenal now. It's like, regardless, they're phenomenal. Had we all been to community joined together, those numbers in general would have been through the roof.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. I think the perfect song to close out today is what we're all doing. And the theme of today, we're living the Kratom life. So we'll close out with that.
Perfect.
And we'll see you all here next Saturday to do it all over again. And y'all enjoy the rest of your day. So let's go keep living our Kratom life.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Thank you.
Woke up today feeling light. Grab my blend, ready for flight. Dreaming that it's my start. Red barley to calm my heart. From dawn to dusk, I'm feeling free. With every leaf from the Kratom tree, I take my dose, I feel alive. Yeah, I'm living the Kratom life. Oh, I'm living the Kratom life so wild. Every day, I'm feeling revived. the drive. It's the power that makes me thrive. Mix it up, I found my way. Living the Kratom life every day. From dawn to dusk, I'm feeling free. With every leaf from the Kratom tree, I take my dose, I feel alive. Yeah, I'm living the Kratom life. Oh, I'm living the Kratom life. So wild, every day I'm feeling revived. Capsules packed with nature's glow. Herbal realm, you already know. You already know. When the day is long, I feel the strain. I know that Kratom eases the pain. So I take my blend and I rise. With herbal realm, I touch the skies. Oh, I'm living the Kratom life. So wild, every day I'm feeling revived. Capsules packed with nature's glow. Herbal realm, you already know. Yeah, I'm living the Kratom life. Ooh, 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 ooh. When the day is long, I feel the strain. I know that Kratom